Part 77. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 773. Chapter 754 Dulong Gang, Ljiazhuang. Su Junming frowned as he looked at the elixir that could not be formed in the 1 lotus furnace in the Tiangong divine furnace. His furnace of Tai Ren Huang Dan has been tempered in the Tiangong divine furnace for 100 years, and it should have been released long ago. As a result, he was never able to enter the last step of condensing liquid into elixir. At first he thought the heat was not enough, but now he discovered that this was not the case at all. Is it because of lack of spiritual energy? The hands are changing, and the spiritual energy is billowing, flying from all directions. However, despite the integration of these spiritual energy, apart from increasing the spirituality in the medicine a few points, it still cannot show any signs of condensation. After sighing, he could only give up temporarily. In a flash of light, the Dragon Emperor's figure appeared next to him. "How did you come? You don't seem to want to see me," Dragon Emperor said expressionlessly. "Who told you to always have a dead face?" With that said, he walked out of Tiangong Hall. The two of them came together to sit down in the pavilion beside the creation spirit pond at the back. "After brewing a pot of tea, what new discoveries have you made?" "Fang La has started an uprising in the south. In just half a month, it has swept through 6 counties and 18 prefectures in Jiangsu and Zhejiang, gathering tens of billions of people, and the momentum is huge. In addition, Tianhu in Hebei, Wangqing in Sichuan, and Chaogai in Liangshan also raised high rebellion flags, and the Song dynasty was in chaos already present." Su Junming nodded slightly. "The end of the dynasty is the same. First there is a peasant uprising, then warlord separatism, and finally the restoration of unity after a pause. I think that is not what you are interested in." The Dragon Emperor glanced at him. "As you expected, Fang La is a disciple of Shen Xiaodao, Tianhu is a disciple of Chunyang sect, and Wangqing is a disciple of Kongtong section. When Zhang Xiaoyang and Wang Wenqing came to the door, they wanted to unite with Chongshan Academy to overthrow the Song dynasty, let the Taoist sect rule Chixian Shenzhou, and establish a powerful Taoist kingdom on the ground. Then everyone would take turns to be the Taoist masters, and then use the luck of the whole world to achieve success. Tai realm. It must be said that this plan is very ambitious. The combination of the 5 great sects, with a total of 7 golden immortals, hundreds of mysterious immortals, tens of thousands of true immortals, and hundreds of thousands of heavenly immortals, indeed has the foundation to conquer the world. But Su Junming wanted to live alone as a family, not to establish a Taoist state. What he wants is the entire Qi County China. Although he rejected Tianqi Tao, Shenxiao Tao, Chunyang sect, and Kongtong sect, Su Junming also roughly knew their plans and contacted Tianqi Tao's layout in Liangshan. It is self-evident who are behind the 4 bandits. You must know that this is a world of cultivation. If you want to hold high the flag of righteousness and change the dynasty, it is simply impossible without the support of powerful forces behind you. No one in the world would have imagined that the so-called 4 bandits are actually supported by the 4 great Dao sections. If we choose to join at this time, we will definitely be able to sweep the entire northwest, the Dragon Emperor said calmly. Su Junming shook his head. In this chess game of the Song dynasty, there is no way to tell the winner in a short time. Instead of consuming the accumulated strength in the internal disputes among the human race, it is better to destroy the Jin, Liao, and Xixia, and then march south to sweep across Jixian Shenzhou. If Zhao Kuangyan is allowed to integrate the Central Plains Taoist sect, even if we can win in the end, we will have to waste a lot of effort, the Dragon Emperor said. Don't worry, we won't let him have the opportunity to integrate Dao section. Su Junming was smiling and his expression was filled with confidence. The Dragon Emperor nodded. With their current strength, Zhao Kuangyan was no match for them even if he had the Tai will in hand. With a thought in his heart, A five-color aura emerged from behind. Two burly men appeared in the divine light. Their energy and blood were soaring to the sky, and their martial arts cultivation was impressive. Who are they? Luan Tingyu and Shi Wenong. The two in Zujiazhuang and Zhengtu City, Su Junming asked with interest. Good. Why did you catch them? When I, the Zhengjin Dharma body, was in Liangshanbo, I found that these two people appeared at the Golden Beach at the same time. Their whereabouts were mysterious and they knew each other. So I captured them both and handed them over to you for interrogation. Do you suspect that they are Zhao Kuangai's secret agents? The Dragon Emperor nodded. Killing Chao Gai and paving the way for Song Jiang to take control of Liangshan is undoubtedly what Zhao Kuangai wants to do most now. The reason why we don't do it ourselves is because everyone is not ready yet until the time comes. With a finger, the human soul gate appeared from the void, and a black spiritual light shone down, pinching the two souls. Memories of the past appeared in front of the two of them scene by scene. It's just as you expected. The Dragon Emperor said, Chao Gai is not a Tiangang Disha, but a disciple of Tianchi Dao. Killing him will clear the way for Song Jiang to control the power of Liangshan. So there must be a second Luan Tingyu and Shi Wenong appearing. The Dragon Emperor nodded. Put them all back, Su Junming said after erasing the memory of their capture. Why? Do you want Song Jiang to control Liangshan Shuabo? Why not? She glanced at him and said, our ultimate goal is to wipe out all the opposition forces in Chixian China, preserve the heritage of this world as much as possible, and cause less killing when annexing this world. So, whether the Central Plains Dao sect overpowers the Great Song Dynasty or the Great Song Dynasty overpowers the Central Plains Dao sect, it is not in our interests. It is our goal to keep them in confrontation for as long as possible. The Dragon Emperor nodded. However, Liangshan's 108 generals are in line with the fate of heaven and earth. If they get together, I'm afraid the history we are familiar with will repeat itself. So we can't let them get together. You mean? Su Junming smiled lightly. Because it has not been repaired for a long time, the official road has become dilapidated. But because this place is the only way to enter Hunzhou, there are many business travelers coming and going. Among the group of pedestrians carrying bags on their shoulders, there were two women. The one walking in front was wearing a long green cloth skirt, a thorn hairpin in his hair, holding a green jade bamboo staff, and a red leather gourd hanging on his waist. He had an ordinary appearance and an indifferent expression. To her left was a pretty and heroic girl wearing a lavender sword uniform. The two of them walked, seemingly slowly but actually very quickly, but the people around them seemed to turn a blind eye. Master, ahead is Hunzhou County. Glancing at the towering city in the distance, let's bypass the county seat and go directly to Dulonggang. Master, why are we going there? Turning her head to look at her young apprentice, most of the coldness on the green-clothed woman's face dissipated. Your master said that there is a woman there who has good qualifications. If she can pass the entrance test of our Chongshan Academy, she will be accepted by me as her disciple. The purple-clothed girl's eyes lit up, so I'm going to have a junior sister. The woman smiled lightly, maybe, but don't have too high expectations. The direct disciples of Chongshan Academy are always one in a million. Master, his vision is definitely not bad. The woman smiled and turned her head, remembering her master's instructions. If you can, take it. If you can't, just move it to the small world of Chongshan. Obviously, the master's purpose is not to let her accept a disciple, but to break the great fortune after the gathering of Tiangang and earth evils. She didn't interrupt her little apprentice's senior sister's dream either. The master and apprentice walked around the county town and walked along the official road for about 1,000 miles, when a village shop appeared on the roadside. On the curtain that was picked out, the words Zujiadian were written neatly. Looking at the Zujia store, which was built with earth and thatched roof but covered an area of 2 or 3 acres and was crowded with people. The master and apprentice stopped in their tracks. "Master, what's wrong?" Li Yingxian asked. What Su Huang was thinking was that if he took the initiative to recruit a disciple, and Hu Sunyang failed in the end, it would not look good on his face if he refused again. On the contrary, if she takes the initiative to become a disciple and fails the test, she will be able to pass if she refuses. The key is, how to get her to take the initiative to vote. Qian I remember you don't have any disciples now, right? Li Yingxian shook his head. My disciple's current cultivation level has only just advanced to the true immortal realm. He is so far behind the 7 senior sisters. He should be working hard, so he has no intention of teaching his disciples. There is a saying, if the master has something to do, the disciple will do his duty. Since you have no disciples, the master will have to ask you to make more trips. Li Yingxian was confused. Can you still do this? After coming to his senses, he quickly said, please give me your instructions. This place is Dulonggang. There are 3 major forces on this mountain, Zujiazhuang, Hujiazhuang, and Ljiazhuang. You go and show off your skills to attract them to become their disciples. Apprenticeship. She was a little confused about the master's operation. Aren't they here to recruit the younger junior sister? She also thought about taking a step further and becoming a senior sister. You tell them that my master is practicing in the Funiu mountain we passed by before, and you can introduce them to me to practice under my disciples. Su Huang nodded. Master, why don't you come directly to your door to accept a disciple? Being a teacher makes sense, so go ahead. Disciple, obey. Ljiazhuang is a large village on Dulonggang. There are thousands of acres of fertile land and a population of tens of thousands, all of whom are born to tenants of the Li family. According to legend, Li's mother dreamed of a golden eagle falling into her arms at night, so she gave birth to Li Ying. The latter was extremely talented and practiced the family's marksmanship. Before he was 40, he had already achieved the realm of marrow cleansing. Under his leadership, Ljiazhuang became more and more prosperous. In this Dulonggang area with a radius of thousands of miles, they are 3 in a row with Zujiazhuang and Hujiazhuang, and jointly fight against the Liangshan bandits, which have become more and more powerful in recent years. Looking at Ljiazhuang, which was surrounded by a 3-foot-high wall and looked like a small town, Li Yingxian thought for a moment. Master asked me not to hold back. With a certain thought in mind, there was a hint of excitement in his eyes. He opened his left palm, and a large seal of 2 dragons slowly flew out. The right hand's halberd finger made a stroke. Go. The big seal's light surged, and it instantly turned into a 10-foot-long seal. After flying 100 feet into the air, it struck down hard. Boom. There were no injuries when he landed, but with a thunderous sound, the entire Ljiazhuang shook violently like an earthquake within 100 miles. Fortunately, Li Yingxian knew the importance and did not use the full power of this high-grade immortal weapon, the 2-dragon seal. Otherwise, if the seal were to go down, the entire Li family village would have been leveled. Even so, Ljiazhuang was frightened. The villagers, who thought Earth Dragon had turned over, ran out with shock on their faces. For a moment, there was chaos. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 774. Where is Li Ying, the flying eagle? The clear and loud voice spread throughout Ljiazhuang. Shua. The tyrannical energy and blood tore through the atmosphere, and arrived 10 feet away in front of Li Yingxian like lightning. After landing, a middle-aged man 8 feet tall, wearing a navy blue robe, a golden crown on his head, thick eyebrows, big eyes, and a short beard on his chin was revealed. He was holding a 2-foot-long steel gun, carrying a leather bag on his back, and holding 5 sharp daggers, making him look majestic. Li Ying looked at the purple-clothed girl in front of him with a hint of surprise in his eyes. I thought it was a big enemy coming, but I didn't expect it was just a weak character. However, thinking of the shocking movement just now, he, who was cautious by nature, did not relax his vigilance. May I ask the girl's last name? What do you want from Li? My surname is Li and my name is Yingsheng. I have become a true immortal a long time ago. Now I am working with my master to open a dojo in Funiu Mountain, 800 miles away. I heard that this place is respected by Earl Jiazhuang, as well as Zhu Jiazhuang and Hu Jiazhuang 100 miles away, so I asked you to. I'm here to tell you that she wants to recruit some good disciples to pass on her mantle. If you have any juniors with superior qualifications in the village, you can go to our master's dojo, Funiu Mountain Xianzhen Temple, to try your luck. Although Chixian Shenzhou is in the middle thousand world, only a few people actually have the opportunity to cultivate immortality. On the contrary, because of their rich spiritual energy, there are many people who have achieved Taoism through martial arts. After all, practicing martial arts is different from cultivating immortals. As long as you have high qualifications and perseverance, you can achieve certain achievements. However, compared to immortal Dao, martial Dao becomes more difficult the further back you go. Therefore, there are only a few martial arts masters who have truly become immortals and saints, not to mention rare. Except for the Wu clan, there is no one in the human clan who can reach the realm of high-ranking generals. In addition to qualification issues, there is also a lack of suitable skills and countless resources. Let's get back to the point. After listening to Li Yingsheng's words, Li Ying's heart moved. Become an immortal? What a seductive word. However, this happened suddenly, and he couldn't help but feel a little suspicious and wary. Now that the fairy has become an immortal, I wonder if you can show some of the fairy's tricks to open our eyes. If it hadn't been for Master's instructions, Li Yingsheng would have been too lazy to do this thankless task. Think of your own sect, which spans the three realms, with countless disciples, and the geniuses are like crucian carp crossing the river. I don't know how many people want to become a disciple but have no way. This person actually wanted her to show off his skills. That's fine. It will open your eyes. With a rush of magic power, the two dragon seals soared into the sky again. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a giant of thousands of feet, and the tyrannical earth spirit light shone thousands of miles away. In Li Ying's unbelievable eyes, he suddenly fell down. Boom! Not far from Jiazhuang, a 100-foot high hill was beaten into powder. The smoke rising into the sky was like a heavy fog, covering hundreds of miles around. The astonishing momentum not only shocked Li Ying, but also made the rest of the Jiazhuang clan members who followed behind grow up. Li Yingsheng recalled the Erlong Gaian, looked at the expressions on the faces of Li Ying and others, and smiled lightly. Remember clearly, my master is practicing at Xianzhen Temple in Funiu Mountain, 800 miles away. She has been practicing hard for thousands of years and doesn't accept disciples easily. Don't miss this opportunity. After saying that, he transformed into a snow-white spiritual light, soared into the sky, and quickly disappeared into the sky with lightning speed. Looking at the retreating figure. Funiu Mountain Xianzhen Temple. There was movement in Li Ying's eyes. Although his martial arts skills are extraordinary, he is not as realistic as becoming an immortal. Li Yingsheng's movement was so great that it not only alarmed the entire Jiazhuang, but Hu Jiazhuang and Zhu Jiazhuang 100 miles away also heard the movement and sent people to investigate. Originally Li Ying wanted to hide it, but considering that the three alliances jointly controlled Liangshan, there was some degree of friendship. In addition, there were too many people in his village who knew about the immortal fate, and he couldn't hide it even if he wanted to. I have to tell the truth. The final result was that before Li Yingsheng could go to the Zhu and Hu families, people from the three families had already arrived at Funiu Mountain. Looking at the red walls and grey tiles on the top of the mountain, entering the courtyard from the front and back, it is an ordinary Taoist temple. Is this really the abode of immortals? Zhu Biao somewhat didn't believe it. Then what the female fairy surnamed Li is talking about is the Xianzhen Temple in Funiu Mountain. On the plaque of this Taoist temple, isn't it exactly the three words Xianzhen Temple, Li Yingdao? I want to see if this immortal is as powerful as the rumors say. Zhu Biao, who was self-sufficient in martial arts, stepped forward to knock on the door. Third brother, don't make mistakes. After all, it was Zhu Long who was older and more stable, and reached out to stop Zhu Biao. Turning his head, he looked at Li Ying. Brother Li, since you have a relationship with that female fairy, it's up to you to knock on the door. Seeing everyone's eyes on him, Li Ying frowned, but didn't refuse. But before he could step forward, the closed door opened with a creak. A beautiful girl with a heroic look between her brows appeared in front of everyone, wearing a purple sword uniform with a small yellow gourd hanging from her waist. As a man, Zhu Biao's eyes lit up and he stepped forward 2 steps. Is the fairy Li Yingxiang? Li Yingxiang didn't look at him at all, but looked behind everyone. The man was wearing red soft armor, with 2 swords on his slender waist. He was dressed in floral red silk and had a head full of black hair. He had a melon seed face, willow leaf eyebrows, and cherry eyes. Beautiful woman. His eyes lit up. Are you Hu Sunyang? Exactly. After nodding slightly, he turned around and walked in. Come in. Although Zhu Biao was dissatisfied that the other party ignored him, he did not dare to be rude to the beauty. A group of people stepped in. The yard that originally looked like a dozen feet in size from the outside turned out to be extremely huge when they entered. Not to mention that there were no more than 100 people in their group. Even if they came several times higher, they could still stand still. There are a few old pines with dry stems and branches growing around the yard, and evergreen asparagus trees line the walls. Occasionally, a few stones are embellished, adding a bit of elegance. Facing north and south of the courtyard is a main hall. There is no plaque on the temple. On the steps at the entrance of the hall, a woman wearing a long white dress sat on a futon. This female crown has a beautiful face, but there is an air of coldness that prevents strangers from entering and is extremely holy. Even Zhu Biao, a playboy by nature, felt a cold feeling from head to toe after just one glance. I feel ashamed of my intuition and dare not have the slightest thought. Master, they are here. Looking at the crowd, especially after seeing Hu Sunyang in the crowd, she didn't say anything. She raised her hand and a black stone door appeared from nowhere. It is the human soul gate that is the treasure of Chongshan Academy. Although it is just a phantom, the phantom summoned by Su Huang is no different from the real thing in the eyes of people with low cultivation level. With a flick of his fingers, a spiritual light shone down from the human soul divine gate, enveloping everyone in it. After doing this, look up into the sky. Since fellow Taoist is here, why not show up and meet him? Outside the Taoist temple, in mid-air, an old man wearing a grey homespun robe, holding a wooden staff, and with white beard and hair appeared. Su Huang activated his magic power and instantly arrived outside the Taoist temple. This Xianzhen temple was transformed into the cave she carried with her. Unless the other party had a rare treasure like a bronze mirror, she would not be able to see what was going on inside. The old man was shocked when he felt the extremely obscure magic power in the other party. After looking carefully, he didn't recognize him, but after seeing the gourd on his waist, he understood instantly. I didn't expect you to be a fellow Taoist from Chongshan Academy. Chongshan Academy has been a sect for hundreds of years. It is no secret in Chixi and Shenzhou that the direct disciples wear gourds around their waists and the inner disciples wear bamboo sticks. Of course, there are also casual cultivators who wear these and pretend to be Chongshan disciples. But the female cultivator in front of her has reached the late stage of Xianxian, and she will never do anything fake. I didn't expect that I would meet fellow Taoists from Longhu Mountain here. The old man was shocked. He asked himself how the other party knew his origins without revealing his identity. I'm afraid I've made a mistake, fellow Taoist. I call myself Old Man Zhongli and he is a casual cultivator in Dulonggang not far away. Su Huang smiled faintly. This person felt that he was hiding well, but he didn't know that with the help of the phantom of the bronze mirror, he had already seen the dragon and tiger seal in his dantian. Like the bronze mirror, the dragon and tiger seal, as the treasure of Longhu Mountain, would never be given unless it was passed down directly. But she had no intention of exposing the other party. Fellow Taoist, what do you want to do when you come here? I heard that Taoist friends are recruiting disciples here, so I came here to take a look. I have no other intention. I just have a question. Chongshan Academy has 59 counties, trillions of people, and talented people are like ministers crossing the river. With the cultivation level of Taoist friends and with your status, what kind of disciples can you not get? Why do you come to this remote place to open a dojo, recruit disciples, and preach? Su Huang said coldly, this is a private matter for a poor Taoist, and it is inconvenient to talk to outsiders. Old Man Zhongli felt angry when he was pushed. However, the opponent's cultivation level is not much worse than his own, and he is also a direct descendant of a large sect, so he has no chance of winning in a fight. More importantly, he has a heavy responsibility on his shoulders and needs to hide his identity if a fight starts. The fighting skills of the Xianxian monks fluctuated, spreading thousands of miles, and causing countless alarms. It would be difficult to hide their identities at that time. After taking a breath, since fellow Taoist won't say anything, I won't take more care of you, so I'll say goodbye. As soon as he took a step, his figure disappeared instantly. Look at the departing figure and stare for a moment. Sure enough, as my teacher said, Tianchi Dao secretly arranged a chess piece here. She had no intention of spying on Tianchi Dao's movements, so she took a step back to the cave. With a wave of his sleeves, those who had been eliminated flew out instantly. As we all know, the test of the human soul divine sect is threefold: heaven, earth, and man. The Tianzi level test is a kind of experience, not an entry test. The tests of Dzi and people are related to the fate of hundreds of millions of Chongshan disciples. The herringbone test is 36 layers of illusion. As long as you are not committing adultery and have a dark mind, you will basically be able to pass. There are 365 layers of illusions in the Earth character test, and it is absolutely difficult for an excellent talent to pass if aptitude, understanding, character, and perseverance are all indispensable. Over the years, it has probably remained 1 in 100 million. Extremely harsh. Su Junming has gone through the Jushu world, the Liuzai world, the Chongshan world, the Shushan world, and now the Chixian Shenzhou. The total number of Chongshan direct disciples can only exceed 300. But between the test of people and the test of place, after years of development and word-of-mouth publicity, there is another test. Commonly known as the inner door test. That is to say, people who can pass 200 levels of illusion tests, but fail to pass the earth character level test. These people generally have a shortcoming in one of the four categories: qualifications, understanding, character, and perseverance. Those who can pass the test of the inner sect can basically achieve the heavenly realm as long as they do not perish. Only disciples who have achieved the heavenly immortal realm will receive the jade bamboo staff personally practiced by the master. Over the past hundreds of years, there have been tens of thousands of Chongshan disciples who have received the jade bamboo staff. Although Su Junming never admitted to any inner sect test, Chongshan disciples might as well think so. Moreover, the directly inherited gourd, the inner sect's bamboo stick, the ordinary disciples' jade plaque, and the triple identity mark were spread not only among Chongshan disciples, but also in various cultivation worlds. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 775. Nearly 100 direct descendants of Hu Jiazhuang, Jiazhuang, and Zhu Jiazhuang entered the human soul divine sect, but most of them failed to pass the human character level test. Only 2 people can pass the test of 200 illusions. Hu Sunyang and Li Ying. The former was stuck outside 300, while Li Ying entered 300. Looking at the purple-robed man sitting cross-legged in the human soul gate, Su Huang had a hint of surprise on his face. The test of the human soul divine sect can pass 300 illusions, not to mention very few. As long as nothing unexpected happens, most people will become immortals in the future. As for the golden immortal, it not only requires qualifications, understanding, and perseverance, but also a bit of luck. Chongshan Academy spans 3 realms and has trillions of disciples. Only 10,000 of them can pass the 300 illusion tests so far. Therefore, Su Huang couldn't help but feel a little more love for talents. After pondering for a moment, he made a hand seal, and a stream of light entered the human soul gate. Thousands of miles away, Su Junming, who was sitting in a pavilion by the creation spiritual pond in the Chongshan residence of Huanglong Mountain, felt something in his heart. The divine gate of human soul manifested, and a spiritual light flew into his hand. After a moment of silent observation, he soon came to a realization. Looking at the questioning eyes of the Dragon Emperor next to him, he smiled calmly. Little Huanger held a disciple recruitment conference in Julonggang. As a result, Hu Sunyang passed the 237th test of the human soul divine sect, and Li Ying passed the 332nd test. Xiao Huanger felt that talents were rare and wanted to take them both under my Chongshan section. Li Yingdao is worthy of the 36th Tiangang, and his qualifications are much better than Hu Sunyang. The topic changed. What are you going to do? Just accept it? Li Ying is one of the few generals in Liangshan who has no evil deeds. You know that's not all I'm asking. Su Junming smiled. 108 generals, the more they gather, the heavier their luck, the faster they practice, and the stronger their strength. Therefore, although I am determined, I cannot let these 108 people gather together to spread their luck, lest they become too strong in the future and quickly destroy the other 3 bandits like in the original work. But Su Junming was reluctant to deprive Gongsun Shen, Wu Song, Shi Jin, and others of their opportunities. So after thinking about it, I still felt that it would be most appropriate to remove Hu Sunyang. Not only was the whole family killed by people from Liangshan, but Song Jiang also forcibly married Wang Ying, a scumbag who eats human flesh and molests wives and daughters. To her, Liangshan is a magic kill rather than a good place. Therefore, Su Junming asked Su Huang to recruit disciples and move the people from Hu Jiazhuang into the small world of Chongshan, and at the same time break the gathering of Tiangang and earth evil spirits in Liangshan. I never thought that in addition to Hu Sunyang, there was also Li Ying. Let Xiao Huanger accept Hu Sunyang as a registered disciple and bring the people of Hu Jiazhuang into the small world of Chongshan. As for Li Ying, let him be a registered disciple of Yu Fan. After saying that, 2 rays of light flew into the human soul gate. Just as the Dragon Emperor was about to speak, he suddenly felt a shock in his heart and turned his eyes. It happened that Su Junming also looked over at this time. The 2 briefly exchanged glances, then took steps in unison and walked into the manifested celestial gate. The celestial elephant gate is connected to all the teleportation arrays that Su Junming has practiced. Therefore, in just a moment, he appeared on a deserted planet in the void, hundreds of millions of miles away from Chixian Shenzhou. Stepping out of the bagua-shaped teleportation array, you can see a white cloud suspended in the sky in the center of this barren and lifeless valley. On the white clouds, the obese Supreme Lord Tai, wearing a sultry red Taoist robe, was meditating solemnly in his prime position. A large black hole with a diameter of 3 feet was suspended above his head. The extremely deep black hole seemed to suck in all the surrounding light. It exudes a suffocating and pure darkness. At the same time, an extremely tyrannical devouring legal intention enveloped tens of thousands of miles in radius. Feeling the astonishing magic power of true Lord Tai, the Dragon Emperor couldn't help but feel a hint of envy in his tone. This guy really got a great opportunity. It only takes 100 years to reach the perfection of the Golden Immortal, and he can go through the Tai Immortal Tribulation. You can't force things like opportunity, Su Junming said with a smile. Aren't you going to wake him up? If you continue to practice, you will have to go through the tribulation. Without him, our strength in Qi County, China will be greatly reduced. Haha, third child, it's really not easy for a proud guy like you to recognize me. Along with the laughter, the devouring magic and extremely powerful magic that filled the surroundings instantly dissipated. True Lord Tai walked over. Seeing his proud look, the Dragon Emperor snorted coldly. If I had 7 innate Tai Chi and 5 elements Chi, I would have attained the Golden Immortal consummation long ago. Don't you have an innate Tai Chi 5 elements basic Chi? The Dragon Emperor did have an innate basic Chi of the 5 elements, but he used it to practice the great 5 elements divine light. Okay, now that you have come out of seclusion, it's time for us to take action, Su Junming said. Haha, I have been in seclusion for 100 years, and it just so happens that my hands are itchy. Moyun Palace in Tianlang Mountain. Yelu Diguang sat high on the golden throne in the main hall. Yelaki sits with him on the left. The two demons look solemn, with worry in their eyes. Your Majesty, we can no longer hesitate. The power of Chongshan Academy is developing too fast. If it is not stopped, I am afraid that our Liao Kingdom will never go south again. Yelu Diguang also knew that the longer the delay was, the more detrimental it would be to his side. I sighed inwardly. I originally thought that it would only take 100 years, and no matter how talented Chongshan True Lord Su Junming was, he would not be able to make Chongshan Academy comparable to the 4 great sects of the Central Plains in such a short period of time. He never thought that the reality was completely beyond his expectation. Without Su Junming's intervention, the disciples of Chongshan Academy had blocked Xixia from the west and fought against the Jin Kingdom from the east. The latter's Zijing Road was almost completely taken away by Chongshan Academy. If this drive continues, the day when Chongshan Academy will send troops northward to destroy the Liao Kingdom will not be far away. After thinking about this clearly, Yelu Diguang's eyes gradually became firmer. Forget it, you go to the Kingdom of Jin for me, meet with Wanyan Zonghan and Wanyan Zhan, and discuss the alliance between the two countries to jointly control Chongshan Academy. Previously, Wan Yanzhen had come to Tianlang Mountain to discuss an alliance between the two countries, but Yelu Diguang, whose strength had been greatly reduced, did not want to get involved in the war between the two sides. Nowadays, the Song dynasty's southern law, Shuzhong Wangqing, Hebei Tianhu, and Shandong's Liangshan Songjiang were the 4 major bandits who were in trouble. After the energy of the Song dynasty's Taoist sect was involved, his mind gradually became active. Suddenly, the general on duty flew over. Your Majesty, Prime Minister, Master Hungfa, the host of Qinglong Temple in the Western Xia Kingdom, is here to visit. Yelu Diguang and Yelu Qi were shocked and looked at each other. It seems we don't need to take action personally. While Yelu Diguang was looking forward to it, there was doubt in his eyes. Xixia has always been close to Nanzhao. In addition, Su Junming has a feud with the master of the 3 upper caves of Nanzhao. Isn't it reasonable that he would come to us? Your Majesty, why do you need to think too much? It will be clear after you bring him here and ask. Yelu Diguang nodded. Please. Yes. Not long after the general on duty left, a tall, majestic monk, with a leopard head and eyes, holding an iron Zen staff, walked in with an accompanying novice at his side. It was the Xixia kingdom, apart from Li Yuanhao and Daun Temple who presided over Kongxiang, another Jingxian Qinglong temple presided over the propagation of Buddhism. Seeing him come in, Yelu Diguang and Yelu Qi stood up to greet him. Master Kobo is here in person. I am sorry for the delay in welcoming you from afar. I apologize for my sin. Amitabha, your majesty is very polite. The old monk came in a hurry without notifying me in advance. Your majesty is being lenient by not blaming me. Both sides were very polite. They all know that with the current situation, both Zixia and Liao need to unite to survive under the increasingly powerful pressure of Chongshan Academy. After everyone sat down, Yelu Diguang said directly, Master, you have traveled thousands of miles to come to our country of Liao. What is the important matter? After smiling calmly, he said, I wonder if your majesty is willing to take back the land of the 7 states that was taken away by Chongshan Academy. Yelu Diguang's eyes shone brightly. I wonder why Master said this. In the past 100 years, the growth of Chongshan Academy has infringed upon the interests of Zixia and Liao. If it continues to develop, your 2 countries will be annexed. His Majesty the Black Emperor is wise, and His Excellency the Prime Minister is a scholar of heaven and earth. With their talents, you can definitely think of these things. Therefore, in order to avoid this worst outcome, it is in the common interests of both you and me to destroy Chongshan Academy, Monk Hongfa said solemnly. Yelu Diguang pondered for a moment. Master, Chongshan True Lord Su Junming is amazingly powerful. If you and I join forces, we may not be his opponent. Monk Hongfa smiled and said, Su Junming's strength is indeed amazing, but he is not 3-headed and 6-armed. What does the master mean? The kingdom of Jin has a lost land feud with Chongshan Academy, and I would like to ask your majesty to contact you on my behalf. In addition, Zixia and Nanzao have always been on good terms with me. The master of the 3 caves in the Nanzao kingdom has a murderous feud with Su Junming, and he is willing to cooperate with me, waiting for the union. Yelu Diguang's eyes sparkled with light. Is what the master said true? The Buddhist monk laughed and turned around. Almsgiver Zhong, please show up. The little novice monk who had been standing next to him, wearing a blue monk's robe and a big face, faced everyone's gaze, grinned, and transformed. In an instant, a giant man nearly 10 feet tall, wearing red leather armor, with a wide mouth and a lion's nose, fierce eyes, muscles all over his body, and full of evil aura, appeared in front of everyone. Zhongwen, the master of the Blood God Cave in Nanzao Kingdom, has met His Majesty the Black Emperor, Taoist fellow Yelu. Fellow Taoist Zhong is huge and eye-catching, so he was inevitably discovered by spies from Chongshan Academy. As a result, the alliance was leaked, which alerted Su Junming and ruined our affairs. Therefore, I used a cover-up trick to cover him up. I hope your majesty and the prime minister will not be surprised. Yelu Diguang and Yelu Qi's eyes flickered. Just now, they didn't notice anything wrong with Zhongwen's disguise as a novice monk. I will certainly not blame you if the matter is urgent, but I don't know what kind of magical method fellow Taoist Zhong used to hide it from the consciousness of the golden immortals like us. It's not surprising that he asked. If he didn't figure it out and someone got close to him, he would be the unlucky one. In the past tens of thousands of years, there has been a lot of bad blood between Zixia and Liao. Sorry, I finished writing the leave request yesterday, but I forgot to click send. I'm really sorry. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 776. Chapter 757, Liao Kingdom, died. Seeing Yelu Diguang and Yelu Qi's compelling gazes, Monk Hongfa smiled and nodded towards Zhongwen. Since it is cooperation, we must show sincerity. Any hiding will only deepen mutual distrust at this time. After Zhongwen understood, he spread out his left palm, and a relic the size of a peanut, irregular in shape, but exuding rich Buddha light, slowly flew up. Monk Hongfa stretched out his hand and the relic fell into his palm. This is the Qinghong relic, the most precious treasure of my Qinglong temple, so it can hide the body and isolate the breath. It turns out that the Buddha's relics are here, no wonder they have such power, Yelu Diguang suddenly said. Qinghong is the first Buddha in Xixian China, so he is respected as Buddha by all Buddhist disciples in Xixian China. As early as in ancient times, this Buddha had already ascended into heaven. The Qinghong relic is the collective name for the 3 relics he left behind after his ascension. It was these 3 relics that created the 3 most powerful forces in Xixia: Qinglong Temple, Daun Temple, and the Xixia royal family. The royal family was also King Honghe's family before he became a monk. Putting away the relics, Monk Hongfa smiled and said, "We, Xixia, have reached an agreement with Nanzhao, and both parties will attack Chongshan Academy together. If your majesty can convince Jingguo Wanyanzonghan, then we will have 11 golden immortals. No matter how talented Su Junming is, he is no match for me." "Don't forget the Song dynasty," Yelu Diguang reminded. "Haha, let's not mention that Chongshan Academy secretly invaded the land of the Song dynasty. It has already hated Zhao Kuangyan and Zhao Piyu. Even if Zhao Kuangyan ignores the past grudges, he can't spare the energy to help Su Junming." "Oh, why?" "Hebei Tianhu, Shuzhong Wangqing, Jiangnan La, Shandong Chaogai, behind them are the 4 gates of the Central Plains. Zhao Kuangyan only wants to protect his Zhao and Song dynasty, and will not be distracted by anything else." There was a pause. "Your Majesty, Prime Minister. Now is the best time for us to get rid of Su Junming. Otherwise, if we wait for the battle in the Central Plains to be decided, under the banner of human race, and we try to take action again, the variables will be much greater than now." Yelu Diguang nodded slightly. "However, he is not a fool. Master is so active, you must have something to ask for, right? Although Buddhism is a merciful school, there are 38,000 Buddhist temples in Xixia, and under the 300,000 gorgeous gold and bronze Buddha statues, there are numerous bones of Buddhist slaves. Their eyes were gouged out, their legs were broken, their hands were cut off, and their skins were skinned. They were subjected to heavy hard labor and wanton oppression. Beneath the compassionate appearance is demonic cruelty and bloodthirst. However, compared to the directness of the demon clan, Buddhism puts itself under the cover of religion, which is not so dazzling. Every bustle in the world is for profit, and all the turmoil in the world is for profit. The Liao kingdom will take back the 7 southern states, and we, Xixia, will get the 4 counties of Yanmen, Yunzong, Wuyuan, and Zhuofang under Kongshanmen, as well as the Yongxing military road of the Song dynasty. The remaining 9 counties include Qinfen Road, Lizhu Road, and Jingzi Road. Song Kingdom. That's right. Chongshan Academy and Su Junming are just the appetizers of our 4 kingdoms alliance. The 5 emperors vying for the top spot, and the lord of Xixian Shenzhou, is the feast I'm waiting for." Yelv Diguang's pupils shrank, looking at the enthusiasm in the eyes of the Buddhist monk. 11 Xia has a huge appetite. Your Majesty is wrong. It's not that we have a big appetite, but that we have to do this. Your Majesty, you should know that the essence of the 5 emperors' struggle is the destiny of the entire Qi County China. Even if we give up, Zhao Kuangyan or the Central Plains Taoist sect will not let us go. After Yelu Diguang nodded, Master's eyes are as bright as a torch, but the land of the Song kingdom also belongs to the Liao kingdom. The Buddhist monk smiled. He was not afraid of being generous to others, but he was afraid that Yelu Diguang would not take the bait. Now it seems that there is no need to worry. Since it is our 4-nation alliance, of course it must be divided according to the strength of each country. Yelu Diguang was about to speak. Suddenly, sarcastic laughter interrupted his words, and the expressions of the 4 people in the hall suddenly changed. "Haha, it's really ridiculous. A group of defeated generals are still daydreaming. Su Junming. Shua, the escaping light soared into the sky. The four of them came into the air and instantly saw the tall figure wearing a green robe and a green gourd hanging from his waist, thousands of feet away from Tianlang Mountain. Su Junming, our Liao kingdom has never crossed Dayun Mountain. Why did you break the agreement and come here? Yelaki said. You have all begun to unite in private and prepare to take my head. Why don't you allow me to strike first? Everyone, today's affairs are destined to be bad, prepare to take action, Yeldi Guang said in a message. Monk Hongfa and Zhong Wen nodded. They are not fools either. In an instant, the air became solemn. The formation of Tianlang Mountain is wide open, with layers of tough shields, with Moyun Palace as the core, protecting the entire 7 heavenly wolf mountains in the middle. All the demon clans living in Tianlang Mountain are scheduled according to the battle formations they have practiced for hundreds of years, and are ready to maintain a sound formation at any time. Looking at Yeldi Guang and the 4 others who were waiting in full formation, Su Junming smiled faintly. Pan Tuo Divine Sword. The sword energy behind him soars into the sky, and the magnificent sword light rolls in like the Milky Way in the 9 heavens. The powerful sword energy made Yellow Diguang, Yellow Qi, and Zhong Wen look solemn. They have all suffered from this sword energy, so they are extra cautious. Wow, 2 giant azure flags soared into the sky from the heads of Yellow Diguang and Yellow Qi respectively. The Bei's hang flag was dancing, and the serious pattern embroidered on it seemed to come to life. The endless wind was rolling, and 2 wind pillars reaching the sky and the earth were quickly formed. Zhong Wen took a deep breath, and a blood-red long knife appeared in his palm. With one slash, the endless blood turned into a vast sword light. The Buddhist monk also knew that he could not stay out of the incident, so the tin staff in his palm quickly turned, and the monk's robes on his body made a fierce sound. Accompanied by the roar of the dragon that soared into the sky, the giant dragon of Buddha's light roared towards the sword energy. Vast wind pillar. The light of the sword is like the Yangtze River. The Buddha's light is like the scorching sun, and the billowing dragon is like the Buddha's light in the rivers and seas. All 4 in one. In an instant, the color of the sky and the earth changed, and the sun and moon lost all light. Boom! A shocking thunderbolt, like a collapse of the sky. The vast light rain is as if the Milky Way is falling. Su Junming wiped out all the killing moves of the 4 people with a burst of sword energy. Yellow Diguang's expression suddenly changed. The power of the opponent's sword energy now was much stronger than that sword 100 years ago. Did he not try his best at that time? How is this possible? Soon he no longer cared about these things. The violent airflow caused by the duel between Tao and Dharma swept across nearly 10,000 feet and seemed to be absorbed by something. A ray. As soon as the idea came to mind, a large hole with a diameter of more than 10 feet suddenly opened above the heads of the 4 people. A huge black copper bell is revealed in the cave. Yellow Diguang and others instinctively sensed danger, but before they could take any action. Boom! The bells like a yellow bell and a big river are pouring down like a waterfall. The majestic and strange bell sound reached their ears, and Yellow Diguang, Yellow Qi, and others felt a pain in their heads. Their spirits were instantly shaken, their magic power was scattered, and their bodies fell down. At this time, a 5-color divine light is like a rainbow, passing through the sky. Yelaki was swept away instantly. A strange big black hole exuded amazing sucking power, and Zhong Wen quickly fell into it. Roar! Amidst the earth-shattering wolf howl, Yeldi Guang woke up instantly. As the leader of the Liao Kingdom, he was protected by the luck of the Liao Kingdom. With a flick of the Sirius flag in his hand, a tyrannical wind emerged out of thin air. Resist the extremely powerful swallowing power in the black hole. Amidba. The majestic Buddha's name sounded from the Qinghong relic, instantly awakening the Buddhist monk. Looking at the huge hole under my feet that was getting closer and closer, emitting astonishing devouring power, I was so horrified that I could no longer hide it. With a clap of his palms, the surging Buddha power was released unreservedly. In an instant, a giant golden Buddha thousands of feet high appeared. The giant Buddha's hand is tied with the fearless seal. Om, Ma, Ni, Ba, Mi, Hum. The six-character Great Ming Mantra. The tyrannical golden Buddha light turned into a giant palm holding up the sky and struck directly towards the black hole. In the disbelieving eyes of Hungfa and Yelvdi Guang, the big black hole actually expanded rapidly. The killing move they were so proud of was swallowed up by the big black hole silently. Then he ran towards them very quickly. Yelvdi Guang and Hungfa were immediately stunned, turned around and ran away. But the devouring force behind them made it difficult for them to move as fast as before. Haha, you have become Taoist master's food in my mouth, do you still want to fly? In the frightened eyes of the two people, a golden ship expanded rapidly and turned into a giant in the blink of an eye. The vast hull of the ship was crushed down like an ancient giant mountain. Regardless of whether it was the Buddhist body of the Buddha, Yelvdi Guang's true body of the heavenly wolf, or even the Qinghong relic and the low-grade innate spiritual treasure Sirius flag, they were all crushed into pieces by this golden ship. Boom! There were bursts of thunder and light scattered in all directions. There was a bright golden light between heaven and earth. Wait until everything dissipates. Three figures appeared in mid-air. Wearing a green robe, Su Junming has a majestic body, hands on his back, and a calm expression. Wearing a white robe and a jade crown on his head, the Dragon Emperor has a cold expression and looks about 12 or 13 years old. 5 colors of light rise 3 feet behind him. There is a cyan bronze mirror on his head and a black bronze bell in his left palm. Standing on the top of the golden ship, Tai Zhenjun, wearing a red Taoist robe, a fat figure, a somewhat cynical expression, and a big black hole suspended 3 feet above his head. Haha, I didn't expect to catch 2 more fish this time, Zhenjun Tai said with a smile. You'd better be careful and don't let them escape again, the Dragon Emperor said coldly. My devouring space is billions of miles in size. Even if they have the magic power of the Tai realm, they can't even think of running out. The swallowing power in the swallowing space is endless, and without spiritual energy, the more you struggle, the weaker it becomes. Unless you have mana dozens of times greater than the Lord of Space, you can't even think of it. But now Tai Zhenjun has achieved the perfection of Golden Immortal, the top in this world. If Yelvdi Guang or Hungfa had his level of cultivation, there would be no need to get involved in the mess of Chixi and Shenzhou, and it would be enough to directly transcend the tribulation and ascend. After the Dragon Emperor reminded him, he stopped talking. Looking at the formation below, the demons of Tianlang Mountain were already in chaos due to the failure of Yelvdi Guang and Yeluqi. The mirror of void above the head is shining with light. In an instant, a clear mirror light shone like water. As a mid-grade innate spiritual treasure with space attributes, although the Dragon Emperor is still unable to fully exert its strength, it is enough to deal with the large formation in front of it. In the unbelievable eyes of hundreds of millions of demons in Tianlang Mountain, the Dragon Emperor penetrated the formation without any hindrance along with the mirror light. Looking at the chaotic monster clan below, the soul-falling bell flew up from his left palm. Boom! The earth-shattering bells swept across thousands of miles of Tianlang Mountain. Billions of monsters fell to the ground instantly like wheat cut from a wheat field. The great 5 elements divine light shone down from behind, and all the monsters were captured. Liao. Death. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 777. Nearly half of the essence of a country is located in the capital. After the 2 golden immortals Yelvdi Guang and Yeluqi, as well as all the demon clans in Tianlang Mountain were suppressed by Su Junming and others, the Liao kingdom became a lamb to be slaughtered. With an order, Chongshan Academy's army composed of its own disciples quickly moved northward, sweeping across the entire Tianyuan prairie like the autumn wind sweeping away fallen leaves. All demon clans were eliminated wherever they went. These monsters, who have long been accustomed to eating humans, can no longer coexist with humans. Although the vacated Tianyuan prairie is a harsh environment for ordinary people, for monks, they can survive as long as they have spiritual energy, so the jurisdiction of Chongshan Academy has more than doubled. The news spread and the whole world was shocked. No one could have imagined that Chongshan Academy would be so powerful. It had lasted for more than 10,000 years, and the Liao Kingdom, which had once put great pressure on the northern frontier of the Song Kingdom, was just destroyed. Before everyone could react, more exciting news spread. The demons who died at the hands of Su Junming at the foot of Tianlang Mountain that day were, in addition to Yelu Diguang and Yelu Qi, Master Hungfa, the host of Qinglong Temple in the Zixia Kingdom, and Zhong Wen, the master of the Blood God Cave, one of the 3 caves of the Nanzhao Wu clan. 4 golden immortals. If Yeluqi and Zhong Wen were slightly inferior in cultivation, then the leader of Qinglong Temple was a powerful person second only to the leader of the country, Li Yuanhao. He had already reached the level of Sotapanna Arhat for 3,000 years, and his cultivation reached the heavens and the earth. 500 years ago, in the Battle of the West Sea, he defeated Ao Yi, the Dragon King of the West Sea, and captured 36 islands close to the Zixia Kingdom, which increased the Zixia territory by nearly 30% and shocked the world. Not to mention Yelu Diguang. As the leader of the Liao Kingdom and one of the 5 immortal emperors, the Black Emperor is in charge of the Liao Kingdom's most powerful artifact to control the country, the low-grade innate spiritual treasure Sirius flag. The strength is so strong that it can be called the most powerful golden immortal in this world. It was these 4 powerful men who all fell into the hands of Su Junming. The news spread all over the world like a storm. Suddenly, Su Jun's reputation as the #1 cultivator in the world became louder and louder. Chongshan Academy has become the most watched sect in the world. Countless cultivators gathered in Huanglong Mountain and the counties under the control of Chongshan Academy, hoping to join this increasingly glorious Taoist sect. The great trend of 10,000 years has begun, and shocking news comes one after another. Just when everyone was immersed in Su Junming's strength, the remaining 2 high-ranking generals of the Nanzhao Kingdom, Si Zhan and Li Shilao, the Zixia Kingdom's leader Li Yuanhao, Daun Temple presided over the Kongxiang, the Jin Kingdom's leader Wanyan Zonghan, and the Right Prime Minister Wanyan Zhan gathered in the Zixia capital, Zhejiang City, announcing the alliance of the 3 countries. If one country is in trouble, the other 2 countries will spare no effort to help. Although the purpose of establishing the alliance was not named, anyone with a discerning eye would know that their purpose was Chongshan Academy. One person killed 4 golden immortals, many of whom were powerful men like Black Emperor Yelu Diguang, which really shocked them. Of course, it was not only the Jin Kingdom, Zixia and Nanzhao that were shocked, but also the 4 great sects of the Central Plains and Zhao Kuangayan. After putting down the jade slip and taking a deep breath, although Zhao Kuangayan tried to calm down, Zhao Piyu was still keenly aware of the ups and downs in his tone. Zepping, is Su Junming really that strong? The facts are all there. Although Zhao Piyu is a little unbelievable, he has to admit that the other party is the strongest enemy of the Song state on the road to dominating Qi County and China. After nodding slowly, Su Junming is a dual practitioner of martial arts. As expected, his martial arts and Taoist cultivation have reached the pinnacle of this world, and he must have a valuable treasure in his hands. Didn't he just survive the catastrophe for less than 100 years, Zhao Kuangayan said in a condensed voice. This person must have a valuable treasure in his hand that can increase his merit. In other words, his martial arts cultivation has already reached the level of a high-ranking military commander long before he overcame the tribulation and became a golden immortal. Zhao Kuangayan's expression suddenly changed. Martial arts are easy to learn but difficult to master, and the further you go, the harder it gets. Especially after entering the fairyland, it is disappointing to not have the resources and perseverance required to advance a step further. Except for the naturally tyrannical witch clan, few among the human race can advance to high-level generals, let alone reach the realm of perfection. At least in the millions of years since Chixian China was established, he has never seen anyone in the human race become a high-ranking general. Even Guangquanzi, Huangdi, and Chunyang Genren only ascended after reaching the perfection of the Golden Immortal. Why doesn't he ascend? The high-ranking military commander is perfect, enough to survive the catastrophe and ascend to the upper world. Zhao Piyu sighed. He wants to ascend to the upper realm with a flawless body that is perfect in both martial arts and Taoism. This man's ambition is so high that it surpasses Qi County in China. Seeing Zhao Kuangyan's ugly look, Zhao Piyu understood him very well. Anyone who faces such a strong person who is not only extremely qualified, savvy, and perseverant, but also ambitious and aims at the world, will feel strong pressure. Zepping, it seems that we need to integrate the Central Plains Dao sect as soon as possible. Zhao Piyu opened his mouth, but looking at Zhao Kuangyan's determined look, he stopped talking. In fact, he wanted to persuade Zhao Kuangyan to reconcile with the Zhongyuan Taoist sect and jointly destroy Chongshan Academy. In his opinion, Su Junming, who destroyed the Liao kingdom, was a far greater threat than the four great sects. As for the constraints of Nanzhao, Xixia, and Jin, in Zhao Piyu's view, they could not stop Su Junming at all. That's it for Nanzhao and Xixia. The two sides are not far apart, but between Xixia and the Jin kingdom, they are separated by the Tianyun Prairie, which is occupied by Chongshan Academy and covers an area of 20 million miles. Unless Wanyan Zonghan and Wanyan Zhan abandon the kingdom of Jin, they will be defeated by Su Junming one by one. Will the two demons abandon the kingdom of Jin? Definitely not. After all, this is their 12,000-year-old business, so they are not willing to give it up. What's more, with the help of a country's destiny, Wanyan Zonghan's strength can be doubled. Of course, if the three parties could take action immediately and rush to Yunzong City to kill Su Junming, that would be another story. But something like an alliance is inherently full of variables, and I don't know how long it will take to get the benefits distributed. And even if you take action, in line with the spirit of a dead Taoist friend will never die a poor Taoist, if you can exert 70% to 70% of your 100% strength, you will be worthy of the sky. Therefore, Zhao Piyu did not think they could take action immediately. If this time is missed, the cost of killing Su Junming and cleaning up Chongshan Academy will be greater every day. Unfortunately, Zhao Kuangyan focused on internal integration first, and Zhao Piyu could not persuade him. There is already precedent for this matter. If Zhao Kuangyan had listened to him and destroyed Xixia first and then Northern Han, Buddhism would not have grown bigger. I wonder if Su Junming was injured when he killed Yelu Diguang and others, Zhao Piyu thought. Zepping, where is Song Jiang? Zhao Kuangyan's words interrupted his thoughts. Has returned to Liangshan from Zhangzhou. Go to Yunqing and pass him the list of Tiangangdasha under the guise of Jushan Suanv. Zhao Piyu nodded. The bamboo forest behind the Qing Palace on Longhu Mountain. 6 Taoist priests were sitting cross-legged by the pond in the backyard of the wooden building. One of them, with white beard and hair, is Zhang Chongyang, the master of Tianqi Dao. The one on the right wearing a purple robe is his junior brother Zhang Xiaoyang. Next to Zhang Xiaoyang are Wang Wenqing and Lin Lingsu. On the left side of Zhang Chongyang, the one wearing a red Taoist robe is Li Wuji of the Chunyang sect, and the one next to him wearing a yellow Taoist robe is Zhu Hazai, the headmaster of the Kongtong sect. I didn't expect Su Junming's strength to be so advanced. No wonder he refused to join our alliance in the first place, Lin Lingsu said. Everyone's expressions were different, but they were all somewhat complicated. Even Zhang Chongyang, who is the most powerful, is like this. Although he was very confident in his own cultivation, he didn't think he could do it if he could kill 4 golden immortals at the same time, including many powerful men like Black Emperor Yelu Diguang. What's more important is that the battle between the 5 golden immortals will inevitably have a huge aftermath, with spiritual energy stirring for thousands of miles and attracting the attention of the world. However, on the contrary, the battle between the two sides did not attract the slightest attention at all. The reason for this can only show that Su Junming's strength has an overwhelming advantage. But how is this possible? You must know that the highest level in Chixian China is the Golden Immortal. Without a big gap in realm, it would be difficult to form an overwhelming advantage. And among them is the strong man Yelu Diguang. Do you think there is really only one Golden Immortal like Su Junming in Chongshan Academy? Zhang Chongyang said slowly. The 5 people were horrified and turned to look at him. Could it be that the Heavenly Master has calculated something? Wang Wenqing asked. The entire Qi County China knew Zhang Kongyang's reputation as a divine fortune teller. After slowly shaking his head, Su Junming, and even the secrets of the entire Chongshan Academy have been covered up, and I can't account for anything. But without help, even if Su Junming is a master of martial arts and extremely powerful, he will not be able to kill silently in a short period of time. The 4 Golden Immortals, especially Yelu Diguang. The other 5 people looked at each other with a look of deep thought on their faces. As the top powerhouse in Chixian China, Jingxian alone is enough to suppress a country or prop up a large sect. It is not impossible to kill Jingxian, but it is extremely difficult. And if you can't fight, you can also escape. Can't the 4 Golden Immortals escape? It has to make people think more. Speaking of this matter, I am reminded of a past incident 100 years ago, Li Wuji said. Fellow Taoist Li, please speak quickly, Lin Lingsu said. The rest of the people also had urging in their eyes. After nodding, Li Wuji organized his words. Actually, you should also know something about this matter. 100 years ago, a mysterious man suddenly appeared in Jin and Liao countries. This man specialized in robbing the human races trapped in the 2 countries. In just a dozen years, tens of billions of human races in the 2 countries, all were taken by this person. The demonic nature of Jin and Liao made it impossible for them to suffer such a big loss and remain indifferent. Therefore, they repeatedly mobilized heavy troops to encircle and suppress them, but they never succeeded. Later, as the human race in the 2 countries almost disappeared, this matter suddenly calmed down. It was at that time that Aliahan, the left prime minister of the Jin kingdom, secluded himself in isolation and ignored political affairs. Although the Jin kingdom announced to the outside world that the other party wanted to break through the realm, there has been no news in the past 100 years. It is really strange. And since 100 years ago, the Jin kingdom has blocked Jinbei Mountain, and even the demon clan is not allowed to enter. Later, I was deeply surprised, and went to investigate in person, only to find that there was not a single demon in this base camp of the Jin kingdom's demon clan. Jinbei, the demon world, is also gone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 778. Speaking of this, I actually remembered it. When the Liao kingdom came to the capital, everything except the imperial city disappeared. However, the Jin kingdom has never announced the reason. There are different opinions, and over time, it has been forgotten, Zhang Xiaoyang said. Everyone nodded, they all knew this. But as Zhang Xiaoyang said, as time passed and the major event of the 5 emperors competing for the throne was involved, this matter was forgotten. The person who can cause heavy losses to the Jin and Liao countries and seriously injure Aruhan must be the Jingxian, Li Wuji said. Everyone nodded. At the beginning, Su Junming was still preaching in Huanglong Mountain, so it couldn't be him himself. And it is impossible for other Golden Immortals in Chixi and Shenzhou to risk the anger of Jin and Liao and fight with them. Moreover, there is this: the strength of a person who was able to seriously injure a Ruhan and escape with his whole body is extraordinary even among the golden immortals, Li Wuji analyzed. So, there is a golden immortal secretly in Chongshan Academy, Zhang Xiaoyang said. Good. And his strength is not inferior to Su Junming. As soon as Li Wuji said this, everyone fell silent. One Su Junming is difficult enough, let alone a second one. A Ruhan is dead. What? Zhang Kongyang's words were like thunder, instantly shocking Lin Lingsu, Wang Wenqing, Li Wuji, and Zhu Hezai. You all know that the old Taoist is good at the magic of heaven. 5 years ago, when the old Taoist was calculating the success or failure of the 5 emperors' struggle, he accidentally discovered that there is no more Aruhan's hexagram in this world. It is rumored that Wanyan Zonghan, the leader of the Jin kingdom, has the precious treasure Luoshu in his hand and is also an expert in magic. Could it be that he concealed the secret? Zhu Hezai said. Impossible. Covering up the heavenly secrets and disappearing from the hexagrams are two completely different things. The latter means that this person has no luck in this world. There are only 2 possibilities for this kind of consequences: ascension or death. Aruhi is only in the middle stage of golden immortal, and there is absolutely no possibility of ascending. Everyone was silent for a moment. So, Chongshan Academy is indeed our formidable enemy, Zhu Hezai said. It's too early to make this conclusion. Our current enemy is Zhao Kuangyan. And Chongshan Academy can only be called an enemy after Zixia, Nanzhao, and Jin joined forces, Li Wuji said. If Su Junming really gets over this hurdle, we may not still be his opponents. Wang Wenqing, who had been silent all this time, said quietly. Everyone's expressions changed slightly. Nanzhao, Zixia, and the kingdom of Jin joined forces to create 6 golden immortals. Considering the emperor status of Li Yuanhao and Wanyan Zonghan, with the blessing of national destiny, the strength of this alliance is still above them. Maybe we can talk to Su Junming again, Li Wuji said. Zhang Xiaoyang shook his head. You and I are familiar with him and have a certain understanding of his character. He is not the kind of person who compromises easily. Everyone, don't forget. In addition to our Central Plains daemon and the 5 major kingdoms, the golden immortals of Chixi and Shenzhou also have people from all over the world. Maybe we can win over Penglai Mountain, Kongming Mountain, and Suandu Mountain, Wang Wenqing said. What Wang Daiyu said is very true. Haven't the people of Sanshan always hoped to create their own sect on the mainland? If they are willing to join, we can definitely agree. At the worst, we can just give them Jin, Liao, Nanzhao and other places. Anyway, it is to show generosity to others, Zhu Hao said. Everyone exchanged glances. The old Taoist still had some friendship with the Sacred Heart Sanren back then, so he just went to Penglai Mountain, Zhang Chongyang said. During the battle to kill the Red Emperor 3,000 years ago, Taoist Suandu and I had a close relationship. Suandu Mountain was entrusted to me, Wang Wenqing said. In the remaining Kongming Mountain, everyone was in trouble. Our Lady of Golden Light and Our Lady of Golden Cloud had ordered thousands of years ago that no man would be allowed to climb Kongming Mountain without their permission. The reason why Kongming Mountain and Penglai Mountain were in such quarrel was because the Sacred Heart Sanren violated this taboo, which resulted in a fight between the 2 holy mothers. Later, the 2 sides fought for 3 days and 3 nights in the East China Sea. If Taoist Suandu hadn't intervened, Sacred Heart Sanren would have been seriously injured by Our Lady of Golden Light and Our Lady of Golden Cloud. Therefore, no one in the entire Qi County, China is willing to provoke Kongmingshan unless necessary. Everyone, look at me and I look at you, we don't want to get into trouble. That's all. If we can win over Penglai Mountain and Suandu Mountain, plus our 4 great sects, we are already in an invincible position. Let's ignore Kongming Mountain for the time being. Zhang Chongyang made the final decision and everyone nodded. Under the pavilion beside the Creation Spirit Pond in the backyard of Chongshan residence in Huanglong Mountain. Su Junming is in the middle, with Dragon Emperor sitting on the left and Tai Genjun sitting on the right. This Sirius flag is really good. It has 12 restrictions and is a top-notch low-grade innate spiritual treasure. Playing with the cyan pennant embroidered with white Sirius in his hand, Tai Genjun couldn't put it down. My dear, there are still a few empty towers in the 9-story ship of my Tai golden ship. Why don't you just leave them to me to press the ship? She rolled her eyes at him and snatched it away. The most precious thing about the innate spiritual treasure is the Taoism contained in it. With this Sirius flag, the Chongshan sect will have an additional line of Wen Tao inheritance. If you only use it to suppress the golden ship, wouldn't it be a waste of natural resources? As soon as he slapped the gourd on his waist, a sharp sword light flew into the palm of Genjun Tai. The light spread out, and a black dagger, no more than 2 feet long and shaped like a crescent moon, appeared. This is the soul-slaying sword that I practiced with Zhong Weng's blood-transforming sword and Alia Han's tiger soul sword. It just matches your natal magical power to 5 soul-severing sword, and its power is doubled. In the future, I will come to the upper world. The foundation of this sword is enough to advance it to an immortal treasure. Haha, the treasure I trained is indeed extraordinary. It is much better than Yelaki's Sirius flag, Hungfa's Iron Zen staff and Qinghong relic. The Dragon Emperor snorted coldly, "Don't pay attention to me. I don't need the Sirius flag, but I still have disciples who want to be rewarded." Huh, stingy. He turned around and said, "My lord, really don't take action now. If Jingguo, Zixia, and Nanzao reconcile their conflicts and really get together, it will be difficult to get rid of them." Hearing this, the Dragon Emperor also turned his head and looked over. Putting down the Qinghong relic in his hand, he met the two people's gazes and shook his head slightly. Now is not the time. The relationship between Zhao Kuangyan and the Central Plains Taoist sect has not really deteriorated yet. If we destroy Zixia, Jin Kingdom, and Nanzao, it will only make them put aside their conflicts and deal with us together. Although your idea is good, Wanyan Zonghan, Li Yuanhao and Cezanne may not give us time, the Dragon Emperor said. After Gudu took a sip of wine, Lord Tai nodded in agreement. Based on what the Liao Kingdom has learned, if they don't want to be defeated by us one by one, they have no choice but to take action first. Have the best hope and prepare for the worst. If Wanyan Zonghan and the others really don't give us time, then we have to let them go to the Emperor's tower to work for us as soon as possible. After saying that, he threw the Qinghong relic to True Lord Tai. You won't give me some training. It is a top-level Buddhist treasure with 12 restrictions. It does not need to be practiced. As the treasure of Qinglong Temple in Buddhism, the Qinghong relic also contains an Oriental Medicine Master's Glazed Sutra, an 8-part Heavenly Dragon Body Protective Mantra, and a 6-character Great Ming Mantra recorded in it. The former is a wood-based Buddhist and Taoist method, which is directly transmitted from Qinglong Temple. The latter two are the magical powers of Qinglong Temple. It is a pity that the Oriental Medicine Master Glazed Sutra does not have any method beyond Tai, which makes Su Junming deeply regretful. Just as he was about to put away the Qinghong relic, Tai Genjun's heart moved and he turned to look into the creation spirit pond. In the center of the spiritual pool where dozens of lotus flowers float, there is a white lotus flower the size of a wheel, filled with rich innate energy. In the center of this holy lotus, on a white and thick lotus platform, there is a large golden cocoon. There is a milky white spiritual light of creation deep in the cocoon. As the spiritual light trembles, countless spiritual energy swarms in. It lasts for more than 10 seconds, then suddenly stops, and then starts over and over again, just like breathing. My lord, it seems that this 6-winged golden silkworm is ready, Tai Genjun said with great interest. Feeling the increasingly powerful aura of creation and the ignorant consciousness, Su Junming nodded slightly. It should be born in 3 or 4 years at most. My dear, how about we discuss it? Anyway, you won't be able to use the 6-winged golden silkworm to refine the Dharmakaya, so why not leave it to me as a disciple? Do you want to accept it? Su Junming said. Master, if something happens, disciple, will you accept your duty? It's good to have a disciple to serve tea and water, run errands, and have a drink when you have nothing to do. Su Junming nodded. Since you want to accept it, then accept it. As soon as he finished speaking, he grabbed Tai Zhenjun's fat palm, curled his fingers, and a drop of golden red blood flew into the silkworm chrysalis mixed with a stream of innate Tai Chi devouring fundamental energy. As soon as the aura of creation in the silkworm chrysalis touched the blood, it instantly turned into a fat doll about 1 foot in size, chubby, and 60 to 70% similar to true Lord Tai. Innate Tai Chi swallowed the fundamental energy and turned it into a jar. After circling around the fat baby 3 times, it flew down from the top door and turned into a mysterious talisman in the Danshan, shaped like a black hole. Tai Zhenjun looked at the fat baby in the silkworm chrysalis and was dumbfounded. The usually calm Dragon Emperor rarely smiled when he saw this scene. Lao Wu, you have a son. Su Junming followed with a smile and said, the six-winged golden silkworm itself is the spirit insect of creation. Once it pupates, all its flesh and bones will be transformed into the spirit of creation. If there is no interference, it will follow the bloodline of the six-winged golden silkworm and turn into the nine-winged silkworm green moth. It's a spiritual seed from ancient times. If you use blood as a guide and cooperate with the aura of creation, you can interrupt this evolution and become the race of the blood host. This is also the reason why people flock to the six-winged golden silkworm in ancient times. The best material. Since you want to accept him as your disciple, you should naturally use your blood to transform him into the best of the human race. After saying that, the light flashed and the figure disappeared instantly. The Dragon Emperor patted Zhenjun Tai on the shoulder and followed him. Only Zhenjun Tai was left alone and messy in the wind. I have a son. In a daze, in a panic, at a loss. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 779. Chapter 760, Xixia's conspiracy and Li Ying's change. The atmosphere in the hall was a bit depressing. Half a month has passed since the news of the fall of the Liao kingdom spread and everyone came here at Li Yuanhao's invitation. For half a month, we have been arguing repeatedly, each holding his own opinion, but no one can convince anyone, and we are completely stuck here. How long are we going to quarrel? If the stalemate continues, even if Su Junming is injured, he will have recovered a long time ago. If we continue to fight, it will only cause greater casualties, Wang Yanzhen said angrily. If according to his plan, when the news of the destruction of Liao kingdom spreads, everyone should work together to kill Yunzong city. He did not believe that Su Junming, who destroyed the Liao kingdom, would remain unscathed. But Li Yuanhao and Kong Xiang firmly disagreed. Amitba. According to what you said, including Su Junming, there are two powerful golden immortals in Chongshan Academy. Su Junming is 1 against 3, not to mention the golden immortal who is still hiding in the dark. The ability to kill a Ruhan shows that he is also a strong man who is at least in the late golden immortal stage. Coupled with Yunzong city's amazing array blessing, if we rush forward without absolute certainty, we will only follow in the footsteps of the Liao kingdom. Kong Xiang said in a condensed voice. Now, in order to show sincerity in cooperation, Wang Yanzhen is not hiding the news of Aruhan's death. And his words also made everyone who originally planned to take action against Chongshan Academy become wary. Si Zhan and Lai Shi Lao's eyes were also a little complicated. They had personally experienced Su Junming's tyranny. To this day, the earth-shattering giant palm and sword energy are still a lingering nightmare in their hearts. Seeing their hesitation in his eyes, Wang Yanzhen regretted revealing the news about the existence of a second golden immortal in Chongshan Academy. If we don't take the initiative, we will only be defeated by Chongshan Academy one by one. Wang Yanzhen said angrily. He couldn't help but not be anxious. Whether it was the capture of the Jin and Liao people 100 years ago, or the Chongshan Academy's plunder of the Jin kingdom's Zijing Road for 100 years, and now the direct destruction of the Liao kingdom, it all proved that Chongshan Academy and Su Junming had no control over each other. The demon clan has deep prejudices. If Chongshan Academy cannot be killed, then the Jin kingdom will be destroyed next. What Taoist fellow Wanyan said is too much. Before the Liao kingdom is digested, Chongshan Academy will not take action against us, so we still have enough time to gather strength. Moreover, the 6 of us alone want to destroy Chongshan Academy. The chance is low, we still need more fellow Taoists to join in. Li Yuanhao, who was dressed in a white robe but had a bald head and a golden hoop, said in a deep voice. Wan Yanzhen's face changed slightly. What does the Lord mean? The fall of the Liao kingdom and the experience of the Jin kingdom all prove that Chongshan Academy or Su Junming has a deep prejudice against the monster clan. In this case, we can go to the Dragon clan for help. Dragon clan. Everyone was surprised. The Dragon clan has an arrogant temperament and never considers itself to be a monster clan, and rarely interferes in matters on land. Will they help us? Cezanne frowned. Li Yuanhao smiled faintly. It depends on how we say it. If we succeed in making the dragons feel threatened, they will naturally join us. It seems that the king is very confident, Wan Yanzhen said. With the ability of the Kongxiang divine monk, I believe that I can convince the dragon clan from all over the world to vote for me. Next to him, Kongxiang, wearing a cassock and a solemn treasure, smiled slightly in front of everyone's eyes. The old monk must do his best. Wan Yanzhen frowned. If the dragon clan from all over the world can be recruited to help, the hope of annihilating Chongshan Academy will naturally be much greater. You can't delay too long, otherwise you'll just have long nights and lots of dreams. Don't worry, fellow Taoist Wanyan, the old monk will complete this matter as soon as possible. Wan Yanzhen nodded and said nothing more. Shishi. The violent sound of breaking wind became one, the beating gun light was like a silver snake leaping, and the steaming blood was like the churning of the sea. Go. With a loud shout, a chain-like white light, like a bolt of lightning, flew several feet across the sky and was deeply embedded in a blue-black boulder, leaving only the cone-shaped tail exposed, trembling endlessly. Li Ying, who was 8 feet tall, wearing shorts and a short beard on his chin, stopped and stood up. He stretched out his hand and a silver light flew towards him, falling into his hand and turning into an iron spear about 2 feet long. Papa. Following the applause, a tall young man wearing a green robe strode forward. It seems that you have completely mastered the set of heaven-breaking spear technique. Li Ying showed a hint of excitement on his face and his tone was sincere. Thanks to the teachings of my mentor, this disciple has made such progress. Although when I first became a disciple, I was somewhat reluctant because I was just a registered disciple. But after I really started to learn from my mentor, I realized how wrong I was. I know even more what a great opportunity I have. In just 1 year, his martial arts had broken through the realm of blood training and entered the realm of marrow washing. And it's still improving rapidly. I believe that if I continue to practice at this momentum, in a dozen years or so at most, I will be able to break through the fairyland and enter the realm of warrior general that all martial arts monks dream of. Yu Tang smiled and nodded, patted the gourd on his waist, and a cyan porcelain bottle flew over. There are 12 yellow pills here. Take them. Thank you, Master, for the medicine. You and I, Master and disciple, don't be polite. Although he was only a registered disciple, he now had Li Ying as his disciple, so he was naturally dedicated to teaching. He waved and motioned for him to come over and sit down. The people from Liangshan are wooing you. They wanted to drag me up the mountain to join their gang, especially the bandit leader Song Jiang. They also said that the disciple is one of the Tiangang Disha and must go up the mountain. but the disciple is unwilling to join the bandit and has never agreed. Yu Teng nodded, Liangshan is very close to your Dulong gang. If you don't agree, they won't let you go. Besides, as a teacher, I also hope that you can go to Liangshan and join the gang. Master. After waving his hand to interrupt him, Song Jiang didn't lie to you. You are indeed one of the 108 generals of Tiangang Disha. You have extraordinary luck and outstanding qualifications. You are one of the protagonists destined to cause a catastrophe for 10,000 years. Join in. Combined with the great fortune of Tiangang and Disha, it will be more helpful to your practice. If everything goes well, and with the help of the Master's elixir, you will be able to break through to the realm of a military commander in 4 or 5 years at most. Li Ying was shocked. He knew that Master would not lie to him. In addition, you are not the only one who is under my Chongshan Academy in Liangshan. Your uncle Ruyanlong Gongsun Sheng, senior brother Wu Song, Zhu Wenlong Shijin, Shenji military advisor Zhu Wu, iron-faced Pei Xian, and the miracle doctor and Dao, all they are my Chongshan disciples. After you join, you can contact them secretly. Disciple, obey. Also, you are cautious and thoughtful by nature. After joining Liangshan, if there are people around you who are kind-hearted and have outstanding qualifications, you can introduce them as your disciples. As a general, the more excellent subordinates, the better. Especially a disciple like Li Ying who can pass 300 illusion tests, whose qualifications and understanding are undoubtedly not excellent, and who has a promising future, cannot be let go. Moreover, Liangshan's 108 generals have profound luck, which is exciting. He also learned this from his second brother Yufei. Over the past 100 years, in addition to practicing, he also had 3 direct disciples, Zhang Xian, Yang Zhaixing, and Wang Gui, and more than 10 named disciples, including Niu Gao, Wang Ji, Dong Xian, etc. These disciples have been trained by him since childhood. They are skilled in various martial arts and have superior military skills. In the battle between Chongshan Academy and the Kingdom of Jin, his second brother Yufei led the army and won 7 battles and 7 victories, and the Kingdom of Jin lost all his armor and armor. His record is so powerful that he is even more powerful than his father, Yu He. I was also deeply influenced by him. It's a pity that good disciples are hard to find. Even registered disciples must be able to pass at least 200 layers of illusion before they can be included. Moreover, there are not many people who are born with strong bodies and strong perseverance and are suitable for practicing martial arts. After picking and choosing, the few suitable ones were snatched away by the 3 brothers above. Disciples practicing martial arts in other worlds have all entered the sect of the uncle. In addition, I had been focusing on cultivation before, so I understood it too late. As a result, I haven't found a suitable direct disciple for so many years. It wasn't until his master sent him to take in Li Ying that he discovered that there were actually many talents in Liangshan Shuabo. Apart from anything else, Yang Xiong and Shi Xiu who came to our door a few days ago were very good. Moreover, Li Ying was asked to inquire secretly, and found out that neither of them had any masters, and relied solely on the martial arts passed down from their families to reach the realm of marrow cleansing. In my opinion, the martial arts taught by their family are extremely crude. If it were someone with poor qualifications, it would probably be difficult to build the foundation, let alone marrow cleansing. However, these 2 people were determined to join Liangshan. Due to their master's instruction that they should not interfere with the development of Liangshan, he did not directly rescue them. The drummer captured by Zujia's Wang Shijian took the opportunity to benevolent and accept a disciple. But with Li Ying's virtue of helping others in front and the temptation of rapid progress in Kung Fu behind, they don't have to worry about not becoming their disciples. Everything was as it should be. Zujia's Wang was captured by Liangshan, all 3 sons of the Zhu family died in the battle, and Luan Tingyu disappeared. Li Ying followed Yu Teng's orders and returned to Liangshan. The only difference is that Hu Sunyang, who was originally supposed to join Liang Shan, became a disciple of Li Yingsheng and became a registered disciple. After that, the entire Hu family moved into the small world of Chongshan. In the evening, Liangshan Juyi Hall was full of laughter and laughter. Under the auspices of Chao Gai, after assigning duties to the newly joined Li Ying, Yang Xiong, Shi Xiu, and Shi Qian, they drank and ate meat, and went back to their homes in the middle of the night. Dong dong. There was a knock on the door. Who? Mr. Zhongli, Chief Song has invited me. Sitting cross-legged on the bed, old man Zhongli, who was invited to the mountain because he helped Liangshan destroy Zujiazhuang, slowly opened his eyes. He stood up and got out of bed, picked up the wooden stick next to him, and the mysterious and profound aura on his body instantly disappeared, and he became senile. Opening the door, there was a man with a long knife on his waist and a strong breath outside. Seeing him, he quickly bowed and said hello. Old sir, our leader Song invites you to come and discuss matters. It's so late, why would Chief Song come to me to discuss matters? This little guy doesn't know either. He is just a little guy, how can he know what the big shots think? Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 780. Chapter 761, All parties take action, fierce competition. Lead the way. Old man Zhongli frowned slightly but said nothing more. Please come with me. In the center of the Liangshan Mountains, which are tens of thousands of miles away, there are islands as large as thousands of miles away. Although most of them are covered with mountains and rivers, there are also a few valleys that can be cultivated and multiplied. Therefore, there are not many people on the island, there are millions of people. Originally, they were obedient people of the Song dynasty. Later, as the exorbitant taxes and miscellaneous taxes became increasingly heavy, they killed the officials appointed by the court and became lake bandits. This is also the predecessor of the Liangshan water bandits. Now, the destiny of heaven and earth has become stronger and stronger. The core of Liangshan Water Park is a valley. Old man Zhongli followed the strong man through the streets and alleys to the inner city. As the second leader after Chao Gai, Song Jiang had an extraordinary status and lived in a mansion covering an area of more than 10 acres in the inner city. After the announcement, Jia Ding led him to the middle courtyard. It was already late at night, and except for the dim light of the hanging lanterns illuminating the left and right sides, everything else was hidden in darkness. The vines and vines, against the backdrop of darkness, seemed to be hiding ghosts, which is frightening to look at. Clang clang, the crisp sound of the wooden stick hitting the ground, could be heard far away in the dark night. Under the leadership of the little guy, we came to a candlelit room in the middle courtyard. I don't know if it's because of carelessness, or because this place is in the heart of Liangshan and is safe, so there are no guards outside the door. The little guy stepped forward and knocked on the door. Report to the leader of Song dynasty, old Mr. Zhongli will bring you. Please come in quickly. A rich and slightly hoarse voice came from inside. Creak, the door opened. Mr. Zhongli, please come in. Old man Zhongli nodded and walked in with his crutch. 6 feet tall, with a dark face and a smile, Song Jiang, a simple and approachable man, stepped forward to greet him. Excuse me, sir. I am entertaining a few new brothers in front tonight. I have neglected you, sir. You are so polite, Chief Song. I should not be so grateful for my little contribution. You're welcome, old gentleman. Please sit down. After he sat down, serve the old gentleman tea. The boy who brought the people over agreed, quickly picked up the teapot that had been placed next to him, poured a cup of tea and brought it over. Old sir, this is the high-quality Biluakon collected by Mr. Song. You might as well taste it. You're welcome, old man. Picking up the teacup and sniffing gently, a light and elegant fragrance penetrated into the nose. He nodded with satisfaction, put it to his mouth and took a sip. A stream of slightly hot tea enters the mouth, and after a moment of aftertaste, it goes down the throat. In an instant, a mellow aroma accompanied by strong spiritual energy melts in the stomach. Good tea. Since this is good tea, old gentleman might as well drink a few more cups. Haha, you are so old and blessed. After taking a couple of sips, I put it down. Leader song, Zujiazwang. Before he finished speaking, old man Zhongli suddenly felt a pain in his abdomen, and his magic power became scattered. As one of the few immortals in Tianqi, he was not a fool. He understood instantly and raised his halberd before he could do anything. A clear and strange ringtone suddenly hit my ears. My mind instantly became drowsy. Plop, it fell to the ground. In the dark and deserted corner of the room, like rippling water, an old man with a bright head wearing a blue robe, a high crown and a belt, and holding a copper bell was revealed. Song Jiang meets the old prime minister. Zhao Piyu nodded slightly and looked at the unconscious old man Zhongli with a hint of joy on his face. If it weren't for the magic soul-catching bell and the soul-dispersing incense, it would be difficult to catch him so easily. I will take this person away first, and leave the rest to you. Don't worry, old Xiangguo. With a wave of his sleeves and holding the old man Zhongli, Zhao Piyu transformed into a light and flew away, quickly disappearing into the night sky. After looking for a long time and looking away, Song Jiang said calmly. Put away the tea sets and go back to rest. Yes. The little guy said quickly. Just as he stepped forward to clean up, he suddenly felt a pain in the back of his head, and Gudong fell down. Song Jiang was revealed with a fierce look on his face from behind. The tone was faint. Dead people keep secrets. Taking old man Zhongli all the way back to the Yellow Emperor's immortal domain, Zhao Kuangyan had already been waiting here. How? Zhao Piyu patted the Dharma bag on his waist, and old man Zhongli appeared in front of him with a sealing talisman on his head. Haha, Zepping is really good at it. In this way, after killing Chao Gai, the people from the Tianqi Dao will not find out. Zhang Chongyang has divine calculations, so this old Taoist Zhongli can't kill him yet, Zhao Piyu said. No need to kill. I have my own means to make this old man work for us. Zhao Piyu nodded and didn't ask any more questions. How is Liang Shan? Most of the Tiangang Disha are here, and the next few need our help. Zhao Kuangyan understood the meaning of his words. It's difficult for those generals to perform in the hands of the mediocre people in the court today. Let them go to Song Jiang's command and kill the other 3 bandits for me. However, the overall situation is related to the overall situation, and confidentiality is the priority, so I still need to defeat you. Run for me. I was serving His Majesty. In the treasure room of Chongshan residence, Su Junming stood with his hands behind his back. There was a willow branch 100 feet long, half green and half yellow, floating in the air. A seed the size of a water tank, shaped like an olive, with an uneven surface and a black body. A drop of blood, 3 feet in diameter, red in color, exuding astonishing life essence. A drop of blood, 2 to 7 feet in diameter, green and red, full of vitality. The first 2 are nameless, and the latter 2 are Zhurong's essence and blood and Jamang's essence and blood that he obtained. Because the Tiangong divine furnace has limited grades and cannot be completely refined, it can only be regarded as a residual product. He stretched out his hand and a willow branch fell into his palm. This branch, obtained from the Shushan world and from the hands of God Nefentuo, contains 3 levels of restrictions. It's a pity that after he broke the first level, he still couldn't break the second level. The sealing principles and space principles contained in the extremely complicated restrictions are really too profound. Even if he had the help of a bronze mirror, his progress would be slow. And now that his cultivation has reached its peak, he can no longer bear the imprint of a deeper Taoism. Therefore, the understanding of the second seal in the willow branch has completely stopped. As for this black man, he had already obtained it when he first entered Taoism, but over the years, it has only grown in size. But there was still no sign of germination. Even the bronze mirror cannot see the reality clearly. Just call out. There was a flash of light, and the Dragon Emperor's figure appeared next to him. Counting your treasures again. With a wave of his hand, the willow branches slowly floated up into the air. Is there any movement in Zixia? It is precisely because there is no movement that I came to you. With the wisdom of Wanyan Zonghan, Li Yuanhao, and others, they will not fail to see that the sooner they attack, the better for them. There is still no movement, which can only mean that they are planning a bigger move. Su Junming frowned slightly, and with a thought in his heart, the divine ball appeared in mid-air. With silent agitation, the 3-foot-long orb of heavenly secrets, shaped like an armillary sphere, radiated skyrocketing light, and the Milky Way-like ball inside began to rotate rapidly. Although the heaven and earth are in great catastrophe now, the heaven and earth are in chaos. However, over the past 100 years, Su Junming's understanding of destiny has reached the golden immortal level. In addition, the heavenly secret divine ball is a rare low-grade innate spiritual treasure, so he can still grasp a hint of the secret. The divine ball of heaven's secret expanded more and more, and the blue galaxies inside rotated faster and faster. Sudden. Ouch! After a desolate dragon roar, the light dissipated, and the already 10-foot-long Tianji divine ball once again reduced to its original size of 3 feet. Su Junming and Dragon Emperor looked at each other and said the same thing. Dragon Clan. I didn't expect that the Dragon Clan would actually get involved, the Dragon Emperor said solemnly. Su Junming nodded. The Dragon Kings of the 4 Seas are the 4 Golden Immortals, and they are not ordinary early Golden Immortals, but mid-stage Golden Immortals, or even Masters of the later stages. Coupled with the 6 Golden Immortals Si Zhan, Lai Shi Lao, Li Yuanhao, Kong Xiang, Wanyan Zonghan, and Wanyan Zhan, Su Junming still felt a little pressure even though he had reached the perfection of the Golden Immortal. We can't wait any longer, the Dragon Emperor said coldly. I didn't expect that the Dragon Clan, which has always stayed out of the matter, would actually get involved. There was a pause. What's going on over there in Liangshan? Gao Qiuzhan raised troops to attack Liangshan. He nodded slightly, pondered for a moment, made a secret with his hands, and the divine ball started spinning again. After a while, Su Junming looked calm. Third brother, you go to Yamato City, the kingdom of Nanzao, capture Granny Liashe, and sweep the upper 3 caves. With a finger, the human soul divine gate appeared. Not long after, the figure of true Lord Tai appeared in front of him. Hey, the third child is here too. From the looks of it, something big happened. Zixia, Jin Kingdom, and Nanzao have contacted the Dragon Clan of the 4 Seas. If nothing happens, at least 10 Golden Immortals will come to us in a short time, the Dragon Emperor said quickly. Really? These guys are really capable of tossing. But this is also a good thing. We can catch them all once and for all and work as coolies in the Emperor's Tower. With our strength, although we can defeat their joint efforts, it takes too long and there are too many variables in the middle. You know, in addition to us, Chixian Shenzhou also has Zhao Quangayan and Zhou Yuandaeman. Therefore, we cannot let them become too strong. Su Junming said. You mean to take the initiative to kill me now? Su Junming nodded, his eyes flashing coldly. Let Zixia go for now so that the Dragon Clan can have a place to stay. Haha, that's right. Since these reptiles dare to stretch out their claws, we will chop them all up, Tai Zhenjun laughed. Su Junming and Dragon Emperor showed faint smiles at the same time. Now only Wanyan Zonghan is left in the capital. Go and capture him yourself. If necessary, you can use the Swanyan Gourd. It's just Wanyan Zonghan, there's no need for the Swanyan Gourd. Tai Zhenjun said confidently. What about you? Are you still staying here? Asked the Dragon Emperor. I want to go to Longhu Mountain. Looking at the puzzled expressions of the two people, they underestimated the power of the middle-grade innate spirit treasure, and also misjudged Zhao Kuangyan's methods. In a duel between the two sides, they will most likely lose. After all, they are also 6 golden immortals, so they can't just die like this. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 781. Deep in the bamboo forest behind the Qing Palace on Longhu Mountain, Zhang Chongyang sat in the middle, with Zhang Xiaoyang, Wang Wenqing, and Lin Lingsu on his left. On the right are Li Wuji, the leader of the Chunyang sect, and Zhu Hezai, the leader of the Kongtong sect. Penglai Mountain Holy Heart Sanren has promised Lao Dao that as long as we need it, he will definitely come to help in the battle. But after the matter is completed, Hebei Road and Jingdong Road will need to be handed over to him, and Lao Dao has already agreed on his behalf Zhang Chongyang Road. Everyone nodded and had no objection. For them, what they most hope to do is to establish an above-ground kingdom across Jixi and Shenzhou, and then gather huge luck to impact Tai realm. As for the land, I don't take it seriously. Anyway, it's generosity to others. Taoist Suandu of Suandu Mountain also promised to help us, but he hopes to get Jingzi Road, Hedong Road, and Yongxing Road as the future fiefdom of Suandu section. Moreover, if Suandu Mountain and Chongshan Academy are established, if there is a conflict, we must help him pacify the Chongshan lineage Wang Wenqing followed. So, things are going quite smoothly, Li Wuji said with a smile. Everyone nodded and the atmosphere became relaxed. It's a pity that Kongming Mountain is closed. Otherwise, if we can get the 2 holy mothers Jingguang and Jinyun to join us, we will definitely win the catastrophe of the 5 emperors competing for the throne. Lin Lingsu sighed. How can things never be 100% perfect? It is already a blessing to have 2 fellow Taoists, Suandu and Sacred Heart, join us, Zhu Hezai said. What fellow Daoist Zhu said is true. Who? Zhang Kongyang's sharp shout interrupted Wang Wenqing's next words. An extremely sharp sword light shot up into the sky, and the powerful sword energy penetrated the space and spanned 100 feet in an instant. Under the attention of everyone, a white and broad fleshy palm suddenly appeared in mid-air. Like a sea that embraces all rivers, it absorbs all the sword energy. This extremely magical Taoist technique caused the expressions of everyone in the bamboo forest to suddenly change. Dun Guan came outside in an instant and surrounded the visitor according to the direction of Liu He. Under the attention of 6 people, behind the fleshy palm are thick wrists, strong arms, green robes, a tall figure, and a green gourd hanging on the waist. Su Junming. Zhang Xiaoyang exclaimed in surprise. Except for Zhang Chongyang, almost everyone here has dealt with Su Junming, so they recognized him instantly. Smiling faintly, his eyes slowly swept over everyone. Fellow Taoists, you are well. Everyone exchanged glances, their expressions showing caution and vigilance. After all, the man in front of him was a strong man who swept across the Liao kingdom and killed 4 golden immortals just a few months ago. And from the look of him in perfect spirits, it didn't look like he was injured at all. In this way, it is even more amazing. Su Junming, the Qing Palace on Longhu Mountain is the important place of our heavenly master. You hide your figure and come uninvited. What do you want? Zhang Xiaoyang said sternly. Smile slightly. Fellow Taoist, don't worry. Chongshan Academy is also a Taoist section. We are friends, not enemies. I am not here to fight with you, but to give you a treasure. As soon as he finished speaking, he patted the green gourd on his waist, and 6 streams of light flew towards the 6 people. Because they were not fast and did not feel any danger from it, they did not take action immediately. However, the way they were carrying mana one by one and getting ready to go revealed their unconscious nervousness at the moment. The light spread out, and 6 azure talismans appeared in front of them. This magical talisman is 1 foot 3 inches long and 3 feet 9 inches wide. It has a wishful head and a 3-fold tail. It is made of unknown materials and has an extremely complex divine pattern painted on it. Although everyone didn't recognize it, they could feel the extremely rich charm of Huishan Dao. This is the Huishan spirit talisman that I refined. If you encounter a death disaster, you can activate this talisman. It can take you 90,000 miles away in an instant and survive. My Huishan spirit talisman only has 3 chances. It cannot be used indiscriminately unless you encounter a fatal disaster. This treasure is not easy to refine, so you should use it with caution. After the words fell, Su Junming's figure gradually blurred, and no one made any move to stop him. Until all his breath disappeared, Zhang Xiaoyang reached out and picked up the Huishan talisman and examined it for a moment. Everyone, could this be Su Junming's conspiracy? Everyone looked at each other, and they couldn't figure it out. Didn't he say that this thing has 3 chances? We just use it once, don't we know now, Lin Lingsu said. Everyone's eyes lit up. We will use them separately. Once we are in danger, the rest will be able to help. Zhang Chongyang made the final decision. 30,000 miles away from Longhu Mountain, Su Junming and the Dragon Emperor stood together, looking at Longhu Mountain with only its shadow in the distance. Will they really use it? I specifically said when I left that each talisman has 3 chances, and they will definitely try it. After the Dragon Emperor nodded, I think you must have a backup plan among those 6 talismans, right? How do you know? Except for your own people, when have you ever been kind to outsiders? Haha, you still understand me. Yes, there are seals left by me in those 6 talismans, which are enough to shut down the Jinxian's consciousness. When they use it for the second time, the seal will open and become the Huishan spirit talisman. Add a beacon. Where is the sign? Kongshanju. The Dragon Emperor was shocked. It seems that you have made the plan a long time ago. Chongshan Residence is the dojo that Su Junming has been running since he entered Taoism until now. Not only does it contain inner space, it also has an extremely complicated formation to block it. There are also 2 middle-grade innate spiritual treasures inside, the Tiangong Divine Furnace and the Creation Spirit Pool. Not to mention a few golden immortals, even Tai immortals would be suppressed if they entered. The dojo is the foundation for a monk to settle down and live his life. I never do anything I'm not sure about. The Dragon Emperor nodded and his figure slowly disappeared. I'm going to Nanzhao. Su Junming responded, and after one last look at Longhu Mountain, his figure disappeared. Tai Wei Gaoqiu reported to the Emperor Zhao Ji for permission, and sent the military commander Hu Yanzhuo with 2 whips to lead the Quanzhou regiment to train the Beizheng General Han Tao, and the Yingzhou regiment to train the Tianmu General Peng Qi to lead hundreds of thousands of troops to attack Liangshanbo. On this day, the army was walking to Yunqing County and setting up camp outside the city. They were preparing to repair for a few days before rushing to Liangshan to kill the bandits. When the imperial soldiers come here, the Yunqing County magistrate must of course entertain them well. Hu Yanzhuo was in the army and could not drink alcohol. He ate some vegetables randomly, then said goodbye to the Yunqing County officials and returned to the army to take charge. He originally did not want to meet these officials, but the food and fodder for the army required part of Yunqing County to transport food, fodder, and weapons. It also required the magistrates of Yunqing County to mobilize their civilians to perform corvée service. In order to make them do their best, some face-saving measures were taken. Things cannot be avoided. As soon as he entered his military tent, he saw an old man wearing a green robe and a peaceful expression, standing in the commander's tent, looking at the map of Liangshan hanging above. Who are you? How dare you break into my headquarters privately? With an angry shout, Hu Yanzhuo drew his sword out of its sheath. But unexpectedly, the sergeant guarding outside seemed not to hear his voice and did not come in at all. With a thought in his heart, he quietly touched his heels. The originally thick but soft curtain now became harder than steel. Restricted. Hu Yanzuo's heart sank. Hundreds of thousands of troops gathered, and the iron-blooded evil aura spread for hundreds of miles. Even an immortal would be seriously injured if he was hit by this evil aura. This old man is actually at ease among thousands of troops, and his cultivation level is at least that of a Xianxian. Hu Yanzuo didn't dare to think about Jingxian, because Jingxian was so rare in the entire Qi County China, and the divine dragon never saw its tail. Serious and resolute, and rigorous in running the army. Yes, you are very similar to your ancestor Huanzan. Look at the other person's scrutinizing eyes and smile. Who is your excellency? The old Zhao Zeping once ruled and assisted the Song dynasty thousands of years ago and had overwhelming power over the world. The old man had a look of pride on his face. Hu Yanzuo thought for a moment, and a person suddenly appeared in his mind. My heart was shocked and I blurted out. Are you Zhao Pu? Haha, of course. An extremely powerful aura rose into the sky. At this moment, the 6-foot body seemed to turn into a huge mountain, making it difficult for Hu Yanzuo to breathe. Fortunately, this momentum comes and goes quickly. After taking a deep breath, Hu Yanzuo looked at the other party very carefully. Although he had long heard that Zhao Pu had become a golden immortal and was assisting Zhao Kuangyan, the founding ancestor of the country, in charge of general affairs in the immortal domain of the Yellow Emperor. But he has never seen this big shot, and just one word is not enough to make him let down his guard. Zhao Pu wasn't angry either. Turned. Tingfu, you have a great grandson. Haha, the old prime minister is too praised. Along with the heroic laughter, there was no one next to Zhao Pu, and suddenly a 9-foot-tall bearded man holding a golden whip, a helmet, and armor appeared. Seeing him and feeling the aura of the Huan family's traditional martial arts white tiger battle technique, Hu Yanzuo became excited, pushed the golden mountain and knocked down the jade pillar, and knelt down in front of the big man. Hu Yanzuo pays homage to his great-grandfather. The Huan family has generations of generals. From the first generation, Hu Yanyan, the former general and Taibao of the Xia dynasty, to Hu Yanzuo, it is already the 10th generation. And this golden armor general was Hu Yanzan, the 3rd generation of the Huan family and the former founding general of the Song dynasty. Ever since this great-grandfather became an immortal through martial arts 5,000 years ago, he was transferred to the immortal court by Taizhi Zhao Kuangyan to take charge of a group of immortal soldiers. He only returns to the Huan family land in Hedong when there is a big clan sacrifice every Jiezi. So Hu Yanzuo is no stranger. Haha, dear grandson, wake up quickly. The rough Chinese characters on his face are full of admiration and kindness. The grandson's performance just now was excellent. Wait until Hu Yanzuo gets up. Come and see the old prime minister. With his ancestors by his side, Hu Yanzuo's suspicion disappeared. Hu Yanzuo pays homage to the old prime minister. There were many misunderstandings before. I hope that the old prime minister will forgive me. He waved his hand. Ignorance is not a crime, not to mention that the old man came here presumptuously, so you should be vigilant. After a pause, Zhao Pu said directly. Hu Yanzuo, do you have the confidence to conquer Liangshan this time? After a moment's hesitation, old prime minister, don't worry, I will do my best to wipe out the Liangshan bandits. It seems you are not completely sure either. Although Hu Yanzuo didn't want to admit it, it was indeed the case. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 782. The Liangshan River bandits were so powerful that they caused the officers and soldiers of the surrounding counties to throw off their armor. When he was in charge of the army command in Ruining Prefecture, he once carefully analyzed the 4 major bandits, and the powerful Liangshan and Jiangnan Law were the focus. Later, he was recommended by Gao Qiu to conquer Liangshan. Although he found 2 generals, compared with the strength of the Liangshan leader, he was still weak. Unfortunately, when he wanted to recruit more generals, Gao Qiu refused. Fortunately, the elite soldiers and horses of the imperial court are well trained, have complete armor, and are supported by surrounding counties and counties. They are much stronger than the Liangshan Shui bandits. Therefore, in his opinion, the outcome of this battle is half-win or half-win. Old Prime Minister, great-grandfather, the Huan family has never had children who were afraid of death. In this expedition to Liangshan, Huan Zuo will never retreat even if he is killed in battle. Huan Zuo said firmly. Okay, you are indeed a good son and grandson of my Huan family. However, in this expedition to Liangshan, you will win if you win. If you fail and are captured, you will surrender to Liangshan. Huan Zuo was greatly shocked. If it weren't for his ancestor standing in front of him and saying these words, he would have whipped him. Great-grandfather, why is this? This is the order of His Majesty Taiju. Zhao Piyu took over the conversation. To tell you the truth, Taiju has conquered Songjiang, the leader of the Liangshan bandits, so the Liangshan water bandits are already a force of the court. When the time is right, the Liangshan water bandits will be allowed to accept the imperial decree, so you don't have to worry about it. If you fail and are captured, just surrender. Huan Zuo was stunned, never expecting that behind the Liangshan Shui bandits was His Majesty Taiju. But now the leader of Liangshan is Chao Gai, the Tota King, and Songjiang is just the second leader. You don't have to worry about this matter. The truth has already been arranged. Then the imperial court. Except for a few ministers such as Li Gang, the current imperial court is a bunch of drunkards. His Majesty Taiju has long wanted to reorganize the imperial court, but the time is not right yet, so you don't need to take it into consideration. Huan Zuo felt hot in his heart after hearing this. He had long been dissatisfied with the darkness and mutual strife in the court. If His Majesty Taiju and the old Prime Minister can reorganize the government, the Song dynasty will definitely regain its glory when the country was peaceful and rejuvenated. Zhao Piyu smiled and nodded. I am here to tell you this. However, the words of surrender can come out of my mouth and into your ears. No fourth person is allowed to know. Old Prime Minister, please rest assured that this junior will never reveal anything. There was a pause. Old Prime Minister, the junior General Han Tao and the Tianmu General Peng Qi are both rare generals. Why don't we let them surrender to Liangshan together? Haha, don't worry, I have my own arrangements for this matter. By the way, if you are caught by Liangshan, remember not to surrender eagerly. You only need to wait for Songjiang to say Tiangang and the evil spirits should gather together to persuade them to surrender. It will not be too late to surrender. Although he didn't know why he did this, Huan Zuo still respectfully agreed. The kingdom of Jin went to the capital. 100 years have passed, and the city that was once almost destroyed by the Dragon Emperor has now recovered a lot. The huge hole in the periphery has been filled, but the accumulation of more than 10,000 years is not easy to make up for. Therefore, in addition to the initial imperial city, there are only 2 outer cities in Shangjing City, which are nearly 2/3 smaller than before. The number of monsters has also been greatly reduced, especially the elite monsters above the Yuan Shen, which are half as much as they were 100 years ago. Gudu, a gulp of wine. The drunken and dim-eyed Genjuntai lay on his back on a 3-foot-long white cloud, looking at the increasingly dense demon clan on the left and right. By activating his magic power, dozens of black holes appeared around him, and all the monsters who encountered him were captured without exception. There were more and more black holes, and by the time we arrived outside Shangjing City, there were already nearly 1,000. He glanced lightly at the city at his feet. Point your finger. Go. All the black holes merged quickly, turning into a huge hole with a diameter of 12,000 feet in the blink of an eye, emitting endless devouring mana. The overwhelming power of swallowing, like a giant mouth of gluttony, enveloped the entire Shangjing city. In an instant, countless pieces of earth, rocks, trees, and houses, mixed with countless monsters, were sucked in while they were churning. In a doomsday scene mixed with endless screams and struggles. A thick layer of light cyan-glazed shield enveloped the remaining outer city and imperial city. But judging from the way it was trembling under the power of swallowing, it was obvious that it couldn't hold on for long. Ouch! The earth-shattering roar shook thousands of miles. A blue-gold unicorn, nearly 10,000 feet long, roared out of the imperial city. The unicorn's ferocious mouth opened. Countless spiritual energies gathered together, and in just a few seconds, a giant ball with a diameter of several thousand feet, carrying infinite lightning, flew straight towards the huge black hole above like a cannonball. In Shangjing City, countless demon clans looked forward to it. But what they couldn't believe was that the Kylan bullet, which was enough to flatten a 10,000-foot high mountain, just disappeared into the black hole silently, without even raising a single wave. Seeing this scene, countless demon clans were in an uproar. Looking at the green unicorn that roared endlessly and was transformed by the luck of the Jin Kingdom and the dragon energy of the Imperial Dao. Compared to 100 years ago, your strength is much worse. With a thought in his heart, a huge swallowing hole 12,000 feet in the air, reaching the top of this world, slowly pressed down on the capital city like a dark sky. It seemed as if he wanted to swallow the city that spanned hundreds of miles in one gulp. The astonishing strange appearance, the increasingly powerful devouring power, and the huge black hole leading to an endless hell made all the monsters in Shangjing City panic. Those monsters who had reached the mysterious immortal level thought they could escape, but as soon as they left the formation, they were sucked away by the black hole, without exception. The green unicorn roared endlessly, and unicorn bombs filled with infinite mana flew out one after another, but they could not stop the black hole from falling. After closing the distance, the formation protecting the upper capital began to tremble more violently, as if it would collapse at any time. Sudden. A ray of sword light, which was like cold lightning, spanned 3 feet and struck straight at the head of true monarch Tai. The change in the elbow and armpit is extremely sudden. Coupled with the amazing speed, even Jinxian couldn't react. But, clang. The crisp sound of gold and iron echoed throughout the sky. An invisible but extremely hard shield appeared 1 foot away from Zhenjun Tai, blocking a 2-foot 3-inch long sword that was jet black and exuded an endless fishy smell. Wanyan Zonghan, you finally took action. 10 feet away, as if out of a dream, Wanyan Zonghan, wearing a black robe and a golden crown, appeared with a serious expression. How did you know I was here? Besides going to the capital, do you have anywhere else to go? Wanyan Zonghan's face changed slightly, his eyes as sharp as knives. It was you who killed Aruhan and took away the Chenbei demon realm from our golden kingdom. Haha, not bad. Are you from Chongshan Academy? My Taoist name is Tai, the 5th patriarch of Chongshan Academy. Wanyan Zonghan's pupils shrank and his heart was shocked. The 5th ancestor? This means that apart from Su Junming and the one in front of him, Chongshan Academy still has 3 founders. And judging from this person's cultivation, the remaining 3 patriarchs should all be golden immortals. How can this be? Taking advantage of the moment when he was panicking, Tai Zhenjun changed his gestures and sat down. White clouds 3 feet away hit him like lightning. Feeling the compelling aura and the extremely powerful surging magic power, Wanyan Zonghan's expression changed drastically. Not good. As soon as the magic formula is pressed, the energy of the infinite greenwood gathers. In an instant, a gigantic tree with a towering height and a cloud-like crown suddenly appeared in mid-air. Click. A loud noise like the beginning of the world. The 3-foot white cloud was like a giant axe in Wu Gang's hand, and the entire giant tree was smashed into 2 pieces. White clouds change, golden light, and lightning flash. In an instant, a golden ship that looked like it was made of steel, with no sails or oars, and a 9-story ship tower in the middle appeared in mid-air. Feeling the extremely powerful Zhengjin aura on the golden ship, Wanyan Zonghan understood in his heart. No wonder my poison dragon sword can't cut through it. This weapon is really powerful. Taking a deep breath, a handful of green light emerged from the top door. In the blink of an eye, a dead wood pile about 3 feet high appeared 3 feet above his head, and a small tree with leafy branches grew out of the wood pile. Ouch! The desperate roar sounded, and Wanyan Zonghan was shocked in his heart, but he did not turn around to look. He knew that going to the capital was over, and so was the kingdom of Jin. The huge black hole has completely swallowed up the entire Shangjing city at this moment. To deal with this kind of fixed target, the combination of the heaven-devouring earth-devouring magical power and the natal sky-devouring jar is really unfavorable. Looking at Wanyan Zonghan, who looked attentive. This guy is really a cruel person. Even this can't shake his mind. Forget it, let's have a legitimate fight. The finger gestures changed, and the first floor of the 9-story Tai golden ship bloomed with light, and a large iron block in the shape of a dark brown weight appeared. The ultimate immortal weapon. Feeling the aura on the iron block, Wanyan Zonghan's heart trembled. What shocked him even more was that after the big iron block emerged, the aura of the golden ship in front of him expanded several times. Boom! The air was crushed. The golden ship collided again, and the bursting air turned into layers of white mist, accompanying the golden ship around, making it look even more sacred. But beneath this sacred scene is a terrifying and boundless murderous intent. Taking a deep breath, Wanyan Zonghan's hands were like the wind, and in an instant, countless seals flew. Aoki Dharma Realm. The wooden piles and small trees above the head shine brightly, and the energy of the green wood within a million miles radius is concentrated rapidly. In just a moment, the air turned into a sea of trees. Endless giant trees thousands of feet high stood in front of the golden ship. The latter is like a siege cone, swinging 10 times and smashing the giant wood into pieces. However, a giant tree thousands of feet tall will be born and destroyed. The energy of the wood will not be extinguished, and the giant tree will never be destroyed. The two sides actually came to a stalemate. Sure enough, I have some tricks. I'll give you some more ingredients. The hand changes. The second floor of the 9-story boat building bloomed with light, and an extremely simple tortoise shell appeared. My Luosha treasure. Wanyan Zonghan was very familiar with this tortoise shell. But what shocked him was that with Luoshu's appearance, the aura on Jin Chuan's body more than doubled. What kind of treasure is this golden ship that can actually gather the power of all treasures? The golden light rising into the sky interrupted Wanyan Zonghan's thoughts.